Welcome to another show. Welcome back to the first show again. Every episode is episode 1, and we are back at it with another episode 1. We are getting stuff done here early. Kevlar already cleaned a cage and pulled a wood barrel out of his kid's eye. It was like very Hacksaw Jim Duggan, it sounds like, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You just grabbed it right out of there, and then you marched around, holding it up in your hand, whopping people.
Put it on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Pulling a wood barrel out of an innocent child's eye sounds like what would have been the only injury to come out of the Cracker Barrel, whatever the fuck match it was at AEW.
Yeah, that's what happened. His kid dressed up as Darby Allin, smashed through a Crackle Barrel. Kev's about to go on, and he goes, "Oh, come on, guys," and then ate a biscuit and then pulled the wood out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he gets prepped. That's how he gets ready. Guys, I'm at Ref Marsh. Klump, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Krabby Big Klump. I'm on Twitter, not often.
Is our title wrong? Okay. The description.
And I'm Kevlar on the rocks with an X on Twitter.
Yes, you are. Producer's looking like she's made a dire mistake, and so I'm just wondering.
The Wi-Fi.
Oh. All right, so we're gonna get hot quick. It's all right. All right. Not a big deal.
Like every show.
Yeah, just like every show, we get hot
baby.
quick.
Yeah.
We get right to it.
Real
Speaking of getting right to it, Klump, what are you drinking?
Pellegrino. It's like champagne, but when you don't drink.
That is the sparkling water of water.
You can get yours at Costco. $15 for a 15-pack. $1 a bottle. And you can literally...
All right, that's enough. That's enough. They're not sponsoring us. That's enough. Until they... Kevlar, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking some good old Crown Royal on the rocks.
Crown Royal rocks. Any flavor, or is this original recipe?
The original, the OG.
I thought it might be going extra crispy this time. Klump will be very happy about this. Producer forgot to give me the old show cup, so I'll be using the sponsor, not sponsor, Bad Dragon glass he gave me as a gift on air just last year. Another episode 1, if you want to go back into the archives. You could have fixed it by doing it. Never mind.
Stop it.
Wow. Okay.
Fight.
It's gonna be a long night,
I'm drinking on the rocks, pouring myself a glass right now, Screwball, the peanut butter whiskey.
folks.
It's so good.
That doesn't sound great.
Dude,
It is delicious.
it's extra
Have
crunchy.
you
It's
tried
got
it?
nuts in it.
Have you tried it with Guinness yet?
What? No, I don't drink soy
What?
sauce, man.
Really?
It is so
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah.
Just so
It is.
good.
This is one we
I
like
think
enough that they're not even sponsoring us yet. Guys, sponsor us. We'll put it out. I'm gonna leave it on the table the whole show so people can see the label. Anybody who's watching live on twitch.tv/wrestling on the rocks, you can find us on wrestlingrocks.com for all of our other links. If you're watching live, they get to see the bottle and they can message us and ask us about it. We can send them links to where they can buy it full price because we don't have a sponsorship.
Hell yeah.
Again, a bottle we had to get a his and hers because it's just so good.
Yeah, this is like the cold brew Jameson, where we had to get 2 of them because she's like, "You're gonna drink the whole thing, I'm gonna be pissed." And I was like, "I am gonna drink the whole thing. You are gonna be pissed. You're gonna need to get yourself your own bottle because then you can drink away your anger, like I do."
Yeah.
While watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Come on. Glug, 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 glug.
This is why I relapse.
Yeah. I was like, damn it. Let's see. Just double checking any of the news. Any news you guys heard of to come through? Because I didn't see a lot coming on. Go ahead.
I just saw the backlash of Alexa Bliss and the Murphy thing, but we'll probably get to that on.
We definitely can touch ground on that was when we talk about Raw for sure.
Harold Mage, the president of NJPW, is stepping down and will be replaced. He's been president for the past 2 years, and he's kind of an interesting figure for NJPW fans. So him leaving is there's a lot of mixed feelings, I think, among the fan base, to say the least, because he came in and was a part of the company coming in during its second height, and he didn't exactly lead the company through a down time. Like, he didn't cause the company to turn down and ruin itself. But he also was there while they lost some of their biggest stars. And I would say my bigger gripe would be that there wasn't an attempt to create more of a relationship between NJPW and other promotions. And that's not, I'm not just saying AEW, but further, I think something we've talked about a lot would be neat matches between all these people. So he's stepping down. He is to be replaced as the president by pulling up the article.
Yep.
Takami Obari, and who's the current president of New Japan America. Which I that part does excite me because 10 years ago,
is he just going to run them both, or is he going to step down from the New America one?
I think he's going to step up to it, but I mean, I'm sure he's going to have a relationship with it. But I think it's a good move. In the past, since NJPW's been creating their American outreach, they've done a lot. Now, 2020's been a kind of write-off year for everyone because of the amount of pause that's been given, but they created a hell of a lot of shows, including the a couple supercard shows, the show at Madison Square Garden, and they've done a lot. Even without a presence on TV, to have even a show in an arena of the level of the Cow Palace of Madison Square Garden is the dream of any promotion, and that's amazing. So I'm super excited. I don't think it'll be a bad thing. I don't think it's a great thing to see Harold Mage leave. It's, from what it sounds like, he's passionate about wrestling. That's awesome. He's doing what we all dream of. But I'm not seeing this as a good or bad either way. Always opportunities.
Yeah. So definitely like keeping your eyes on it with hopefulness. It doesn't feel like a death sentence. That's cool. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier before we went on, that there seemed to be a lot of chatter about that, but I didn't know enough about either one of them to really formulate an opinion I felt comfortable or confident in displaying. And with that in mind, I'm still not gonna, other than, there's a change in power, and some people are very unhappy, some people are very happy, and I'm very interested to see how it pans out.
Yeah, no, I think that's the best way to look at it. Is it's not a positive, negative, it's a new change, and we can hope for continued growth. Ultimately, we're wrestling fans. It doesn't matter where we get wrestling from. We're a fan of it. We want to see more of it, as long as Joey Ryan isn't in it.
Yeah, I'm okay with him not being in it. We can touch ground on that real quick in the news. He's suing his accusers for defamation.
Really now?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, I thought that's why you brought it up.
No. That was amazing.
Great segue.
Yeah, fuck, I'm good at this.
Yeah, that happened. That happened today. I was like, oh, he clearly wants to talk about it. He definitely wants to talk about that thing that just happened. I guess we're going to talk about it. And then you're all like, what do you mean? What happened? Tell me about it. He's suing because he's saying he's losing $20,000 a month now. That he's lost like 11,000 Twitter followers and 8,000 Instagram followers, and he's no longer accumulating 1,000 a month like he was before, and saying that this has been a huge negative impact on his life, and so he's suing them.
Yeah, real big, tears in our beers for that,
Yeah.
It's so hard. I mean, it's rather
here's
crazy.
Here's the good in that. there's a goodness in this, because this is such a surface level looking at it. This is a shitty thing to do,
Oh yeah, it is 100%.
right? But here's the good that comes out of it. He's got to take the stand now. And the other thing is that they have to prove it's defamation by proving that he didn't do those things.
Yep.
So if there's any proof that comes out of any of this that shows that any of those accusations are true, he's done for in a court of law.
He's done.
Like, they get him. It goes, oh, it's not defamation because you did those things. You're shitty. Like, that's a good thing. That means that these people could potentially have a voice in court they might not have otherwise been given.
Yeah, I don't know if he realizes that he could actually be facing a lot because of that.
It could really snowball. And that's the other thing, too. Not screwball, like our delightful drink, but snowball. It really could snowball for him into a series of catastrophic events for him, but potentially the greater good, as it were. I think that maybe he thinks that with him doing this born-again Christian bit, and maybe he just really believes he's been putting out all the scripture stuff, and he's I think he's trying to become a youth
right?
pastor or something. Seems fitting, but I think that
Yeah, because they have a great track record of being really, not handsy with young girls.
but they're fucking protected, it seems. But I think that he's leaning on that to get him through this, and I think that he's suspects there's, quote, not enough evidence to prove otherwise. I just hope that the accusers have a good enough lawyer that they're able to fucking tear this dude up, man.
At the end of and I'm sure the accusers will probably, like, if you're an attorney and you're looking at something like this, the name value, you would make your name on this, so I'm sure they'll be fine in terms of who they're covered by. But I feel truly, I will say this: there have been cases of people who have been falsely accused of these acts, not in wrestling, but that have been accused. However, it is incredibly rare, and also it's not multiple people. Shit, even if it's one person.
Yeah.
The fact that it's there, that this has been enough that multiple companies have totally cut off ties with you. And I'm sure at least one of these companies investigated some of it and said, yeah, that's fucked up. I don't think this was a situation where every company in wrestling would say, oh no, we're not working with you on just baseless rumors.
Yeah.
Further, if you're, even if I have very little sympathy when it's just by you've done enough in your actions to be close to it. And I'm not saying the character. I think one thing that maybe he's banking on, or anyone who for some fucking reason would support him would bank on, is that, well, it's just based on his character. No. His character for a lot of people was seen as a positive because it was seen as a joking play upon, these ideas. This action, if anything, is even worse because then, you have this conversation where you're like, man, fuck, really? I like that. You feel terrible, and it's upsetting. So this is, there's a tweet I'm looking at about this. You see, from Angelina, who's an independent, said, I could not be any more disgusted with Joey Ryan, and I agree. I absolutely agree. There's no fucking reason for him to do this other than it's more attention. If he truly believes that there's no accusations there, I don't know. I feel like this isn't the court of public opinion. This is just, you've done enough to have enough enough worry around you, and you're doing all the classic marks of somebody who fucked up. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, I also wonder if, as much as you can say that when it was all happening live that everyone thought of it as a positive character, I don't think it aged well, and I think that if any of that stuff is shown, I don't understand how they can say, oh, look, they ruined how people thought of me, and this is how I presented myself before. And they're all like, well, you'd think that this is how you presented yourself before, and then it turned out all of that was legit, that is not exactly defamation. That's almost edification. You know what I mean?
I think that's the when I say that it's like it was a positive thing, is you heard all of these things about him outside of it being great, and like it seems so tongue in cheek, and yeah, it doesn't age well, and it really truly doesn't age well because of what the performer did, the person.
And I think also, if his argument is that he was making that much money and had that big of a following, and he was the biggest name on a lot of those cards, then you really get into position of where people truly consenting to this or bowing down because that was the biggest name on the card and they wanted to break. You know what I mean?
Damn right. You're absolutely right.
It makes that conversation a lot easier to have in court, if you ask me.
No, time and again we've had that, and you know, in any industry, it doesn't have to be somebody who's this titan of, you know, industry, who's a billionaire, to commit horrible acts and use influence to take over. It can be a fucking manager at a Circle K.
Yeah.
It can be a professional wrestler who's got a bit of name value, and the reason being is for somebody who wants to do this, for somebody who wants a job, for somebody who wants to be a professional wrestler, they can look the other way to try and keep going. They can put up with some things that they should never have to put up with to try and move forward, and that's fucked up.
There's sometimes that you shouldn't have to be a team player. Kev, did you have anything you wanted to weigh in on this?
No, I think it's truthfully, I think it's disgusting and comical at the same time. Like,
yeah,
you know, like I said, you see his character, what his whole gimmick was, what his, you know, what he based his entire profession around, and then sitting there saying, "Hey, you're being mean to me," basically for the same thing, and it's like, you know, you almost just want to, obviously, you know, rather you want to laugh off his lawsuit.
Yeah.
You know, especially during all these allegations and stuff like that, and it's like, whatever, dude. Good luck. See ya.
Yeah. It's laughable if it's not so disgusting. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You laugh at it for a second because you go, this has to be fake. This is funny because it's a joke, right? It can't be. And then you find out it's very real and you go, oh, he's just shittier than I thought. Someone tweeted out something like, oh, I think that was the one actually you just read where they're like, he's disgusting. I responded on it and I was like, just wait. He's not done. Like, there's more, I'm sure. He's going to probably get real fucking grimy. Some of these guys, too, fuck, who was it? I can't remember who it was, but there was it was a court case that I remember seeing footage from. And I believe it was a serial rapist or killer where they took the stand because once they took the stand, were able to be questioned and relive a lot of this stuff, and you'd see him smiling and smirking. And because he took the stand, the defendants ended up having to take the stand, so he got to listen to their side of it the whole time too. And like it did not bode well for him. And I don't remember who it was, but you're just watching this going like, oh my god, like
Andre Chikatilo did that. Dennis Rader did that. Richard Ramirez did that. It's actually fairly common with a certain type of serial killer.
I think Ramirez is the one I was thinking of, but like you said, more than Trial by Media may have mentioned it.
Oh, I'm thinking of a case then.
Yeah.
There might have been one in there somewhere that was similar, where they just were almost getting off on listening to it again, like, oh yeah, I did that, and you're like, what?
Joseph Callinger too. Eric likes serial killers, so I read a lot.
Yeah. So it just makes you wonder.
Just learn, yeah. No,
part of me wonders if that's at all like part of this, that he's going to get some sort of satisfaction out of that too. But I don't know. I don't want to give Joey Ryan that much airtime on here. He's doing what he's doing.
It's really funny though.
Go ahead.
And again, to something kind of like a sick hilarity to it. Joey Ryan retweeted from Bar Wrestling. Thanks everyone for checking out the new Bar Wrestling uploads. And it's on your channel's up 949%, and I'm thinking, you're doing this and you're kind of right in taking credit for it, but it's probably the worst kind of credit to take. The reason people are so invested in Bar Wrestling currently is that they're curious about what the fuck this monster did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something we talk about too. The biggest boo you can give when it comes online is not clicking. You know, like if people talk about like go away heat being a bad heat, and I constantly talk about I don't think that go away heat is the same thing. If you're interacting with it online, if you're talking about it, if you're retweeting it, if you're tagging people, the metrics show that people are interested and they're going to get seen as a positive. People don't read the context; they're reading the metrics. There's a difference. You know what I mean? So they go, oh,
when
go ahead.
Enzo, I was just gonna say it was like when Enzo dropped his album. Like I wanted to listen to it to see how terrible it was, but then I didn't want to give him one more view or one more click.
Yeah, exactly. The best thing you can do is avoid it altogether. Well, on a lighter side, Kari Sane and Candice LeRae had birthdays today.
Nice.
Sorry, I just gotta look like I just messed something up. Something's in the chat. Something's in the chat. Let's see. Kiro says, so the entirety of Apple is down, or at least 75%. Hey, Klump, go ahead and see what he's talking about. What's down with Apple?
Just from a standpoint of somebody who's a fan of Apple products. Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
News. I'm looking at the news. Yeah, there's a couple outages reported.
Read it out loud.
So if you go to Apple support and you look at system status.
Oh, their systems are all down. Yeah, Apple
okay.
Support has system status where it shows like cloud status, their network stuff, like their update servers, all their different little processes that they have that you connect with at all times. That's their system status. So I guess somewhere between 50 and 75%. Kuro says 75. Klump's looking at the live ticker that says 50. It's probably somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I guess a bunch of Apple's down. So if you're trying to watch us from Apple or listening to us on Apple Pod, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Give us that 5-rate review. As long as podcast is still up, we keep going.
Android.
Yep. So, Kari Sane and Candice LeRae had birthdays today. So we just want to give them a cheers, a little drink to Kari Sane and Candice LeRae. Happy birthday.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, I'm excited about LeRae's match coming up, and Kari Sane. I was just thinking about, just like a couple days ago, how much I liked Kabuki Warriors, and by the time she left, how much I was so invested in her character, and I was thinking about where she started in NXT and how much I just was not connecting with her and her character, and how that by the time she left, it had completely flipped around, and I was completely into it. So, no, I hope we see more of her at some point, but until then, the only other thing I had news-wise necessarily is I just wanted to shout this out. On Primetime Live on Fight TV, Trevor Murdoch is having his North American title shot with against the NWA champion Aaron Stevens, NWA North American Championship. I remember being at the tapings when they did the promo for this, because this match was supposed to happen at the Crockett Cup, which ultimately got canceled. So they did this sit-down with Sean Mooney, Trevor, and Aaron Stevens, and I believe Question Mark was right behind Aaron Stevens and was part of it. And I remember that Trevor Murdoch, the way he talked about the North American title and about the lineage of it and about being trained by Harley Race and what the NWA meant to him, had me choked up, man. I was like, this guy needs to hold this title. He needs it. And it was beyond the idea of like, as a fan, it's nice, you want them to like it. And I'm like, no, this guy lives for this kind of stuff. He needs this. He needs to look inside his bag from time to time and just see gold in it, you know? So good luck to Trevor Murdoch on that. Guys, check it out on Fight TV. And we're rooting for you, Trevor.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you think of Trevor Murdoch and you think of him as a performer. He is truly something special. He's something that I think a lot of people slept on when he disappeared from the WWE. But him in NWA, you're like, whoa, this is amazing. You know, he bumps, he moves, he does everything just so well.
Yeah, he was trained by Harley Race, man. Like, how dope is that?
Yeah.
So his connection to the old time status of stuff, Really fucking cool. So I'm excited for him. I hope he does well. He put out a video clip today. I tweeted about him twice today, just trying to help his name get trending, and he liked both of them. So guys, if you're on Twitter at all, give a little shout out to Trevor Murdoch. Just try to get his name trending out there. He lost his job recently too, his regular warehouse job, and so he's kind of struggling, just trying to figure out what he's supposed to do because NWA is not doing much. He's doing this, and I mean, to be quite honest, what I would hope is I'd hope he takes home the North American title, and then we start seeing him tour with it, sort of like Thunder Rosa's doing. See him defended a couple times on AEW against some whoever's. See him defended against Ricky Starks, man. Ricky Starks wanted that title once upon a time. So that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see him get a little tour with that title myself.
I think it'd be really cool.
Miss Fabtina even says would love to see him with FTR and AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can, I love the way that AEW has hosted some of the NWA champions. I'd love to see him come in and, not for a title unification, but have a program with whoever the TNT champion is.
Yeah, just cause.
Have a program with Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what happened to you, Cody? Especially with Cody being My Chemical Romance now. My Cody Romance. Have Trevor Murdoch come out and be like, Cody, what happened to you, man? Like, I trained with your dad. What the hell's going on? He's like, don't fucking talk about my dad. And then boom, get it going. And they have champion versus champion, no titles on the line, first blood match. Boom, do it. Cody's head's made of rubber. We seen it.
Yeah, Trevor's gonna win.
Yeah, I know. He just does one punch and everyone just goes, ah, damn it.
I'd love them to work that into an angle, like we're gonna do Cody in a first blood match, and just like then be like, you bleed all the fucking time, champ.
Yeah, he's got like a coach running out there being like, no, you're not thinking about this. You're not thinking about this. You bleed so much. Like, your head's made of paper.
He goes out there and R just grabs like Vaseline, just slathers it all over him like a boxer. Like,
it'd be so good. Or you have Nakazawa come out there and squirt baby oil right in his face, being like, I'll help you, boss. I don't know. There's just options. There's options. And I'm rooting for Trevor Murdoch. I'm in his corner. Like I said, guys, he likes people's tweets. If you say something nice about him, he's one of the type to respond and like and interact with you. He's a good dude. I've met him before. And tremendous worker. When I went to the Hard Times taping, the one match that I still think about from time to time, just thinking about great matches I've seen, is Trevor Murdoch versus Dan Moff. Absolutely brutal, crazy match. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, and Trevor Murdoch has more matches after this. What is the matter with him?
yeah.
So, yeah, cheers to Trevor Murdoch.
Cheers. Good luck.
You got this, balls.
One more thing before we get into the shows, as we wrap up the news portion, is we have a giveaway we're trying to do. Does this work? Is it still in frame?
Yes.
Was it?
It's in frame.
We're trying to do a giveaway. Once we hit 50 subscribers, we're going to give away this AJ Styles autographed comic book. So if you guys know anybody who likes AJ Styles, who has Amazon Prime, walk them through how they can subscribe to us for free. Once we hit 50 subscribers, we're going to give away that signed AJ Styles comic book. If you're listening to us on podcast, you can find out more about that at WrestlingOnTheRocks.com. You can find about it on our Twitch, and you can go to twitch.tv/WrestlingOnTheRocks and subscribe there.
Hopefully that will be soon.
Yeah, we're hoping for it. So the other thing is what we're going to do is we're going to raffle it off to all the subscribers. We're going to do it live on the air. Once we hit 50, we're going to put every name of every subscriber into one of the randomizer wheel picker things, and we can even pop it on the screen, let it spin, and whatever name comes up is who gets it. So everybody who likes AJ Styles, everyone who's got a friend who likes AJ Styles, anybody who's got Amazon Prime, sign up for Twitch Prime. It's free, and you can subscribe for free and be entered for free into a raffle for a signed AJ autographed comic book.
We should get one of those old school Royal Rumble ball mixer things.
Oh, that'd be good.
Ball mixer?
It's like the lotto, like the bingo, like
Yeah.
the lotto turner.
Yeah, we'll have to check Bad Dragon and see if they have anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our sponsors, not sponsors.
I'm sure Bad Dragon has ball mixers. They might have names though, but
Yeah, it's just got a different
I
name,
go by Jerry. Oh.
and they're red and black probably. But I think that takes us to the show. Is there anything else you guys wanted to touch before we get into SmackDown?
No.
Thank you for watching us over the debate.
Yeah, if you're watching live, you're watching us during the debate, and that's pretty dope. So we appreciate that. If you are not watching live, how you doing?
Thank you for watching the debate and being an American.
Yeah, way to be an educated voter.
Yes.
Stay smart, Be responsible.
I
For
still
the rest of
remember
us, we're drinking and talking about wrestling.
I remember last year, like when we were doing this in person, in the middle of the show, Kev's like, "Oh yeah, St. Louis won the Stanley Cup."
Oh yeah, he was just all sitting there like, "Bah!" He did the Howard Dean. Yeah, he had his Howard Dean moment. Bah! What happened? So good. The only thing about SmackDown I wanted to talk about, unless there's stuff you want to talk about, apart from being dedicated to Road Warrior Animal, which we can give him a cheers and farewell one last time.
Yeah.
But apart from that, the only other thing in there that really stood out to me as something topical that didn't really come back up again was Alexa Bliss. She had a match against Lacey Evans. At one point, you just hear the Fiend's laughter. Then it cuts to commercial, comes back, everything seems normal again. They did that a couple times this week where things happen before the break. They come back from break, everything's normal, and then it goes back to the thing that happened before the break. And I was like, it was a weird gap. I don't know. I just didn't like it. But then the lights all turn red. They flicker. They do the thing. You see Fiend on the screen laughing, and that's when Alexa snaps, starts being wicked evil, and beats up Lacey, gets disqualified, and then walks away smiling and laughing and stuff, and staring down Roman Reigns like she's just gonna beat the shit out of him herself.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna just start throwing hands and.
Yeah, she did a great job with that stare down. I was all like, "Oh, look, she's mad at him," and I was like, "Oh, wait, she's like mad at him."
Oh.
I was like,
Shit's
"Oh my
happening.
God. Yeah, how mad is she? Jesus!"
Oh
I
no.
was like, "Paul, turn around!"
Yeah, she was plotting.
Yeah, she's got pointy nails, dude. Yeah. By the time she walked away, I was nervous, and I was like, "Yeah, just keep walking, keep walking." What'd you guys think of this bit? I thought this was some tremendous character work with Alexa.
I like it a lot. I'm excited for a number of reasons. One, fantastic work for Alexa. I think it's cool to see in WWE a kind of role like this where we're seeing a female talent at such a forefront of a mixed, like not like in a romance angle. You get what I mean? Not like in a friends angle. But to be a part of an event in the roster that's happening with everyone. She's the top of the women's division, which means she's the top of the WWE. But a lot of times it doesn't feel like that. So it's really awesome to see her and the Fiend be really on the same level.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the first ever Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, the first one to hold both titles. She was the first winner of the Elimination Chamber. She's got credentials, And she's been really stuck in this kind of floating around weird angle with her and Nikki just being bubbly friends. And now she's part of an angle with a two-time Universal Champion who, by and large, once Bray shows up on the screen, eyes are glued on. We're watching. We want to know what's happening, and no matter what it is, it's probably your main event. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, Kev, what do you think?
I really liked it. It's great to see the progression of her turning into whatever Fiend character she's going to turn into. And one of my sons, the youngest one, Nash, he is like enthralled with it right now.
Oh,
yeah, he likes the Fiend a lot, and now he's like, watching Alexa, and he's young, so normally he doesn't care about the women's matches, but now he's watching them. When Fiend, you could hear the Fiend laugh. He was just like glued to the TV and just wouldn't look away. And then he just loves it, and I think he's a part of everyone that's really interested in it. And can't wait to see what happens. But at the same time, the slow build is great.
So wait, so that means that the oldest one has a thing for Nikki Bella. No, the oldest one has a thing for Becky. And then the middle had a thing for Nikki Bella, and now the youngest has a thing for Alexa?
Yeah, very much.
All right. They've got all those figures, right? Didn't they get your kids the Alexa too?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can have the good battles.
There's no
Yeah.
Nikki Bella, but
Yeah, it's on purpose, man.
are they really missing out?
Yeah, no, that's on purpose. That kid's got to figure out something else. I got him Asuka and Charlotte and Bailey, and he just looked at all of them and just gave them to his mom. So that kid doesn't get a Nikki Bella, is what happens.
Wow.
And those were elite, man. Those were elite ones. These weren't your basic ones where they couldn't move in the torso. He just looks at it and goes, here you go, Mom. All right, kid. Guess who's not getting a Nikki Bella? Never. Not from me. Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm done about your kids. I need a drink.
Done with your kid. Me
Yeah.
too.
That's pretty cool, though, because it was always fun when we were over there, and then I'd obviously be rooting for Bailey. You were usually cheering for Alexa. Your youngest was the only one who didn't really have somebody that they were cheering for like that.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I do like that. That was something I told him like a couple years back. I was like, out of all your figures, your kids don't have a women's division, and I'm going to do something about it. And I think I've since gotten them like 6 or 7 of the women's figures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, we can have an elimination chamber now. We're doing it. But I'm loving it. And just a little shout out for whatever it's worth. I did a drawing of Alexa over the weekend from that SmackDown, and she liked it and retweeted it, and it's still getting likes and retweets even now. It's like my most active post I've ever had now because of her. And I mean, it's just those little things. Sometimes you really just need those little wins, and it means a lot when if you could tell me in 8th grade that I would draw a drawing of somebody like that, because I was drawing pictures of like The Rock and Jay Leno as a kid because that's what I liked. And if you told me I could, what's the problem?
That's a mix.
It is a mix. I was wide variety. I clearly liked WCW at the time.
God damn it.
So they, if you told me when I was in 8th grade, hey, in like 10 years, that you're gonna be able to like draw a picture, and it's gonna immediately show up in that person's pocket, and they're gonna be able to share it with 1 million people right away just because they liked it. You'd be like, that's magic and insane, and that's not possible. You know what I mean? So it's just those little things, and I just wanted to, a little shout out, a little thank you, a little cheers for sharing that out, showing people, and just appreciating the work that was put into it. It was a nice little thing, and she's got a new podcast too. Check it out, Alexa Bliss Uncool, or Uncool with Alexa Bliss. You can find it on the WWE Pod Network. So
It was not a filter.
and that's the other thing I get scared of, because the way I do my drawings and stuff, I'm always like, well, there's a lot I see where people just add a filter and add a couple of lines. And I've been really, really working with my shading and stuff, and it's not a filter at all. It's actually a drawing, but I would understand if someone said they thought otherwise.
Do you use #NoFilter?
#NoFilter on it all the time, because people got to know, man. People got to know.
Yeah.
What if we did a filter on your drawing and made it look like a photo?
Oh, that'd be good. Make it old-timey, sepia.
I drew this and now I made it look like a photo. Why would you do that? That's a lot of work.
Oh, and she put it
That's
on
the
her
opposite.
Instagram story, too, which was wild, because I hadn't even put it on my Instagram yet. But
Dude, that's awesome.
yeah, it was cool. And then just a couple days before that, Eddie Kingston shared out a drawing he did of Eddie Kingston.
Oh, dude.
So for a week that was otherwise pretty tough, it was kind of nice to get a couple of those little wins along the way.
Yeah.
So nothing from Roman. I did a drawing of Roman and got nothing. That dude's a heel. Boo!
Ew.
Responds, nice drawing, Tool. Oh, he liked it. I could see Baron
All
Corbin
right.
doing that. Just Baron Corbin, you fucked it up. Look at how bad this is. It's just his way of getting you attention, but also being a dickhead.
I actually did a drawing of Corbin back on, I want to say last year, that when I look back on it, I'm not as proud of it now as I was at the time. And he did like it. He liked it. So he didn't heal me on that one.
You need to make Roman the tribal chief.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
sort of what I did.
Oh.
A little different though. I should do Roman as Maui from Moana.
Yeah.
Just to
That would
piss
be
off the Rock.
fucking cool. Like, just draw, Roman is Maui, and like, here I recast it, and like put like tag The Rock, tag Roman.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, last week I
What?
also did an Ed and Eddie of the Jurassic Express, and Marco Stunt and Lucha Boy liked it, shared it out. They're not Lucha Boy,
Lucha
Jungle
Boy.
Boy. Fuck, man.
Lucha
This
Boy
screwball's
liked it.
good.
And he's never gonna like another fucking thing you do.
Yeah, I just got blocked, but this screwball's real good. Worth it. I'm gonna have another shot just because it was worth it.
Shout out
Really?
to Lucha Boy.
Yeah, shout out Lucha Bro, shout out Screwball.
We do all these awesome drawings, then we fuck up the names, and we just get like no. They see them, but then they're like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, all the names are wrong on it. You know, people do like, "Who's this? Wrong answers only." So just like do a shitload of like photorealistic drawings with wrong names on it every time. Like what?
I did a great drawing of Bulk Hogan.
Yeah. Or like you do a drawing of Alexa and you just tag Carmella. It's like what?
Yeah.
Why did you want Carmella to see this? I don't know. I thought it was a good drawing. I thought she might like it.
Just own it.
Just think about it.
Yeah,
What are
she
you
knows
reading?
Alexa. She's friends. Maybe she'll show it. She can share it. I don't know. Guys,
start
Clash.
doing-
Go ahead.
Good. I was
You wanna
gonna
start
say, I'm
doing
gonna
what?
start doing stick figure drawings of wrestlers to see if I can get their attention. Just the
Dude,
worst.
there's
like
a
the
few people
opposite.
online who are doing that very thing, and it's working. He says he wants
Do
to
they
stick
think they're
figures
like
to see if he gets their
retweeting
attention.
Make-A-Wish kids?
Not all of them. No, a lot of them are adults. I think some are adults that people think are kids, but that's neither here nor there. I appreciate all the appreciation. So let's get into Clash of Champions, guys. It was a Clash of Champions. Here was a show that started out pretty fucking dope, slowly became what I thought was the worst pay-per-view in recent memory, and then ended so good that I thought this was a can't-miss pay-per-view. What a roller coaster this one was for me.
Great.
See ya.
C.
See?
See, I don't,
C.
It's funny.
see, I think it started out amazing. I think it just went downhill and kept going. And like you said, at the end, it popped back up, but it's still just, the meat in the middle of the sandwich just wasn't there, and it was very disappointing.
Yeah, overall. But
The bread
I mean
was
it ended in such a way though that it was like I rewatched the end of that. I watched that last match probably 7 or 8 times since then. Just because I couldn't believe some of the work that was going on in that ring at the time. And we'll get to that one. Let's start off real quick because Klump's already giggling about something. He's being
I was just thinking of like what Kevin said. Just like, oh man, just like amazing artisan bread,
Yeah.
fantastic condiments, like a great stone ground mustard, a nice aioli, fucking raw meat in the middle, just like
Yeah. Just like 2 pieces of bologna. He's like, what the fuck? And I'm all like, dude, this place is known for their bread, though. And he's like, this is not a great sandwich. And I was like, dude, they're here. You go here for the bread. Like, I'm trying to convince him. And he just sees me just like pulling my sandwich apart and eating the bread over and over, getting more bread. And like, you're not even eating the sandwich. I was like, but the bread, dude. This place is known for their pumpernickel.
just have them put bread on the side. Then you can have
Yeah.
your raw chicken.
Yeah, it's like people who go to Olive Garden for that endless breadsticks. And you're like, the pasta's not great. Like, I'm not here for the pasta.
Wait, they serve pasta here?
Yeah. What do you mean they're pasta? Why do you have pasta here? No, dude, endless breadsticks. Get on it. What are you doing? Idiot?
And the most mediocre but addictive salad ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird. But I mean, either way, this was the Olive Garden of pay-per-views, and I'm here for the breadsticks.
Where are we also family?
Oh, dude. Dude, we're a tribe. We're not just family.
Motherfucker.
We're bloodline. We're...
Go fuck
Wait,
yourself.
Klump?
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Klump hasn't taken the blood oath.
No, he hasn't taken the blood oath, but he's gonna on accident.
Yeah, yeah.
That dude's gonna scrape his knee, and we're gonna dive in on it. Boom.
Won't you wreck your toilet? Why is there sandpaper in there instead of toilet paper?
I can just see Klump scraping his knee. We're like diving, and he's just Blood Brothers.
It's
We're
not.
stabbing our fingers.
Yeah, yeah.
Given that in the past month or 2 months I almost cut off 2 fingers, it's not hard to get blood out of me.
Oh, we've been told that. We're planning for it. Guys, the Intercontinental Championship match, Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles ladder match for the undisputed dual title Intercontinental Championship. I said going into this show that this could potentially be the match of the night, and I think in a lot of the ways that it was.
Oh, 100% it was.
Well, there's two things here. This match was fucking golden. The only reason I think that I appreciate the Roman J stuff, which we're going to get into, is the story there was just so... It was so heavy in story, and I fucking loved it. That was all story. This was all wrestling. It was like two different sides of wrestling that I love, and they both highlighted it here. But go ahead, Kev. Didn't mean to cut you off like that. Take it away. What do you think of this match?
I think this is easily match of the year candidate. I think this was an amazing match. Just the way that they worked together. At the beginning of the match, when Sammy bounced off the ladder and then off the ropes and looked like a slinky going downstairs almost, was
Did you mute me?
awesome.
No, can you? Thanks for staying with us. This is our first show, clearly.
Yeah, it's just the first show.
So we will get this right eventually.
You got to get to FaceTime.
Guys, welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. My name's Eric.
Right. We're live.
We're live? We're back,
back.
guys. We're back.
Hey.
We're back, and you didn't even know we left because we're that slick with the edits.
Damn right.
Kevlar, like I just said, Klump, shut the F up. Throwing a Kevlar. What do you think about the Intercontinental Championship match? Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles. Did you think it was okay?
It was okay. That's about it. No. I definitely think it was I don't know how much you guys heard, but I think, match of the year candidate. It was awesome. The way Sammy at the beginning of the match bounced, when the ladder was propped up against the turnbuckle, he bounces off of that, then the ropes, then the ladder again. I thought he looked like a slinky going downstairs. And, the way they all worked together, I think was amazing.
It was incredible. There was at one point when Jeff did the swanton off the ladder onto Sammy. I was like, they know that someone's going to have to climb a ladder, right? They know that one of them has to be well enough to physically climb a ladder by the end of this.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was so good.
And then when they threw the mini ladder, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, he just
You
chucks
see
the
the-
mini ladder at him.
Yeah.
And then when AJ used the ladder that looked like it was actually probably going to be a little bit too short, and you can even see he looks at it, he's looking at the ladder and he's like, shit. But he goes
damn it.
for it. Yeah. I thought it was absolutely amazing. What do you think of when Sami Zayn pulled those handcuffs out of his jacket?
I've been saying for a while now, during a match like that, somebody needs to pull out handcuffs and just put them on the ropes so they can't reach the middle.
Yeah.
And outside of doing that, he did a pretty good job. I think it was weird he put it through Jeff Hardy's ear. I'm sure I really thought a producer in last year and Hell in the Cell with Randy Orton.
Yeah, she was losing her mind. Yeah, she was really upset. She's like, "Oh, come on!" And I was like,
Don't fuck with ears. Don't fuck with... No.
Yeah. Not the ear again.
"Yeah,
Oh, God, no.
dude," and it was so good. It was so gnarly. For me too, I was all like, "This is so gross." He's putting it through the ear and then putting it on the ladder. Because I was like, "Because here's the thing: is that it's one thing to have your hand handcuffed to a mini ladder, but I was like, oh, when he brought the handcuffs over, I was like, oh, this is sweet. We're gonna see Jeff Hardy with a handcuff on a ladder, just carry another ladder up the ladder, and we're potentially gonna see him hold up a title while a ladder's dangling off of him. I think that's gonna be tremendous." And
I mean,
then
he
he
still
puts it
could have
through his
done
ear.
it.
He could have. And then they puts it through his ear, and I was like, well, he's not doing it with it through his ear.
Yeah.
That's no earring, that's for sure.
I
And the
would
way
have
he's
loved
holding
seeing
the
that.
ladder- Yeah, the way he's holding the ladder next to his ear, like Brock Lesnar listening
Yeah.
to the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
all right,
no
I gotta
choice.
fight like this now. Yeah, he kept going, which was great.
Oh, so good. Klump, what'd you think of the match?
Thanks for coming
I thought it
back.
was good. Yeah, What?
Go ahead,
What
Klump.
did you say?
What'd you think?
Okay. I thought it was fantastic. I really liked the match. was also grossed out. Like, no ears. Quit messing with ears. For the love of God, leave his ears alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would have been funny if they made it like a shoot moment of if Jeff had climbed the ladder with that thing hanging off of his ear and won it. Like, yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
you
You're like,
can
all right,
have this
greatest
one.
of all time.
We were gonna go with Sammy, but fuck no.
Yeah. He's all like climbing up the ladder, it's dangling off his ear. Vince is in the back, and he's just all like, tell them Jeff's going over tonight. Tell them Jeff's going over. There's no way we're not doing this.
Let it happen. For the love of
Yeah.
No, but it was. I really liked it. I think it was awesome seeing Sammy in this like level of match because we haven't seen him in a long time for one, and then also in him being back, he's not been a talent. He's been like a voice. So seeing him perform and then go absolutely bananas, taking bumps like crazy, just amazing.
Yeah, this dude was taking bumps like he's been craving it. He was thirsty for bumping that guy. You're like, this dude's been in a desert of no bumps, and all he wants is to be broken into 3,000 pieces. That's what it felt like. It was amazing. And then here's three dudes who made their names in ladder matches in different companies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like what made Generico the star that he was on the Indies was a couple of ladder matches. Yeah. What made AJ the star that he was in TNA was the X Division weird ladder style match stuff that they were doing. Jeff Hardy, obviously WWE, tables, ladders, and chairs. That's all him. Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that from, like, a hardcore wrestling fan perspective, walking into this was all like, holy shit, I've wanted this match for almost 20 years. And the fact that Sami Zayn even tweeted out that so is he. He's all like, it's not lost on me that when I started in this business, this would have been a dream match of mine. You know? Mm-hmm. And he's like, and this is going to happen. Man. Yeah. I mean, I was literally screaming and jumping out of my seat during this one. This is one of the ones that I just got lost in. And when Sammy was doing his stuff with the handcuffs and he's handcuffing AJ, he handcuffs himself to AJ, and I was like, oh! Like, AJ fireman carries him up, and then he starts to slink away. Oh, my God, dude. It was done so masterfully. Yeah. And at such a high level, because I felt like the psychology that Sammy needed to win that match, the way he needed to outsmart Jeff and AJ was because Jeff and AJ are two of the greatest of all time, and he knew it. Mm-hmm. How can a Sammy in any way defeat an AJ or a Jeff Hardy in a ladder match when those guys they're ladder match guys in WWE? I mean, so smart. He got as devious as he could, and I don't know, man. I couldn't get over this match after it happened.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. You know, I love when Sammy opens mouth and he's got the key like on his tongue.
Yeah.
And it looks like a cartoon. Mm-hmm. And he's just like smirking and he's like, like so great. Just I loved it. Hopefully with this match it made people appreciate Sami Zayn.
That's what I'm hoping too.
Everyone knew or knows AJ. Everyone knows Jeff. Sami Zayn was kind of, I guess the underdog, if you will.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully this opened a lot of people's eyes to the talent of Sami Zayn and how.
Kev, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. On how what?
How good he is.
Yeah. I mean, I think about it too. His skill level's been so downplayed on the main roster. I know that I've been singing Sammy's praises for a long time, and you're always all like, what is your problem, dude? This guy's, he's only like this. And I remember showing you clips from NXT matches and being like, yeah, but this is the dude. And you're like, well, why isn't he doing that here? And I don't know. I don't know. But this is that next level Sammy that we always knew was in there,
Yeah. Now we need Kenny Omega to do the AEW. Show us the hype.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Level up. Yeah, so I do think this was like match of the night. Go ahead, Klump.
I was gonna say that's poignant, but yeah, no, absolutely. I think match of the night, not moment of the night for me, but
yes,
I think this was the highlight of the show in many ways as a match, and I think it put a crazy amount of heat on this title by having these three guys do an absolutely amazing job, and I love that Sammy shined because I think there's always been like Sammy in many ways has been the underdog in the sense that he's had these amazing matches, but he's never really kind of to like the broader audience, it seems, been portrayed as the guy. So seeing him go over two former world champions, yeah, it's in a heel way, but fuck yeah, it was amazing, you know?
So good. And I love he was posting today on his social medias. It was, you know, that meme where it's the two buttons and it's the guy sweating because he doesn't know which button to push.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? That meme. He did one that said, "Still reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion," and the other one was two-time or never lost the Intercontinental Championship. Another one said was two-time Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn, and he's all like, "Oh, do I say I'm two-time or do I say I never lost it?"
Yeah. Well,
So
like,
fun.
and even the little post-match interview, he's holding the
Yeah.
belts, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I never lost." And then he looks, and he's like, "Oh, not this one, this one." Never
Yeah.
lost.
That was
You
great.
know, that was so great.
Yo, part of me was wondering if, because they said it partway through the match, but at the beginning of the match, I said to someone in one of the chats that I wonder if AJ's going to win by taking down Jeff Hardy's Intercontinental title, and Sammy's going to contest that his title never came down and say he's still
Nice.
champion. And I was like, that'd be funny
Yeah.
if he still kept it going.
See, I was wondering about that too, especially in like a triple threat match. You have two of them go up, and each of them grab one belt, and they both fall down. I thought
Yeah.
they might try and play something like that, but you know, to have just a clean win, well, a win, clear cut.
Hey,
winner.
man, nothing he did was against the rules.
Yeah, no. But you know, I thought that was, you know, great. Like I said,
Yeah.
this is probably match of the year for me as of right
This
now.
is definitely up there as one of my favorite all-time ladder matches.
Mhm.
Especially, how many ladder matches have we seen at this point? With how much stuff can you do where people are going to talk about it? This is one where you can't just show, like when they show the ladder match that Hardy's came back to in WrestleMania, was it 34, 33? I think it was 33. They always show the clip of Jeff off the Swanton off the one because that was the
Yes.
big spot. This one, there's too much stuff, dude. You have to just watch this
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what are you going to do? Like, show him getting the handcuffs, then show him handcuffing Jeff, then you show him handcuffing AJ, then you show him how he's cuffed to AJ, then you show how he got out of being handcuffed by AJ. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many singular moments of greatness that you can't just be all like, this is it. I mean, the single shot will be Sammy holding up both titles, but there's too much in that match to say, oh, check out this spot or that. You go, no, you've got to watch this ladder match.
Mhm.
Yeah, everyone. Oh, and then when they messed up, oh my God, it was so beautiful when AJ put the ladder on the desk and it was on that slant and it was barely on it. I even looked at that. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna hold. And he walks over there holding Sami Zayn and he goes to put him on and the ladder falls. And you see both Sami Zayn look down at the ladder and you see AJ look at it and they kind of look at each other and AJ throws Sammy into the desk. And as he's coming off the desk, Sammy reaches with his hand. When you watch it in replay, he reaches with his hand and grabs the thing and yanks it off as he's falling off of it. And I was all like, oh my God, they're setting it up again. They're resetting it because this is going to happen. And they did it so good. AJ's all like, no, I'm going to break you this way. And then it didn't work. And he's like, I'm going to break you another way. And Sammy's like, yeah. This is a better way. Like,
Dude. I'm gonna make this work. Do it, please.
yeah. All right, we're back on track. Back on track. Oh my God, dude, so good by seasoned veterans and people who were all on the same page and doing what they could. Because AJ went to pull it off at the same time. AJ's on the other, or Sammy's on the other side, as he's falling, reaching behind his back, grabbing it, flipping it off. Like they both ripped that top off because that top needs to come off now. And they were on the same page and didn't have to say a thing. And it was, I don't know, it's beautiful, man. It's awesome to see veterans like that in there taking care of each other.
No one outshining anyone else.
No one outshined anybody else. Yeah, there's no one in this match you go, they didn't really show up for this one, you know?
Everyone.
Yeah. Everyone looked tremendous. Sorry, I'm going on and on about this one. I just fucking loved this
Yeah.
match.
He's good.
Is there anything else you guys want to say about this match?
Nah, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
I mean, after that, there was the 24/7 championship spot, which I don't think we need to go over. Asuka versus
Yep.
Zelina was exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Zelina won. Got it.
Yep. And I mean, it was okay. It wasn't bad. I actually thought that their match on Raw was better, which is good. That's what you want, really,
Yeah.
realistically. You want Zelina's matches to be better every time, So, yeah, it wasn't bad. Let's see. United States title was Bobby Lashley. Apollo Crews kind of was what it was. If any of these things you guys want to definitely talk on, stop me.
I'm kind of torn on this one because I like Apollo chasing, but I don't want him to chasing at this level, and I don't want him to fall away because I feel like the Hurt Business is not going to go away, and they have everything behind them. So I get nervous in the sense that Apollo's really stepped up, and I think him. I don't want him to get passed over.
He's definitely stepped up and somehow been pushed aside. It really feels like we're at a point where Apollo's either going to disappear or be part of something else. They're definitely keeping him in the storyline, and I don't know if they're just going to make the Hurt Business twice the size that it was to take on Retribution and a huge old Survivor Series type style thing. I think it's possible.
Yeah, but it also the other thing too with Hurt Business when you do that, I don't know, man. Part of me gets, I get weird with it if we keep expanding it in certain ways like this because it's. There are people who are fantastic in it. I like the current roster, but I feel like it's also becoming, the larger it gets, the more it becomes we're just going to move y'all in here. We don't have anything for you. And that's fucked up.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, that's some of the best stuff we've seen of these guys in a long time. It's kind of hard to argue that it's not working. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and sometimes, I think it's what happened with Nation. What made Nation the way that it was is I think it was 4 dudes on the roster that they really didn't know what to do with and said, we're just going to put you guys together and, I don't know, go make something out of yourselves. And
but then you added Owen, and then you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to keep adding to it,
Yeah, Owen was great in that, dude.
But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
But you don't want it to turn it into NWO, where everyone was a part of it.
Or Aces and Eights. Or Bullet Club at some points. It's like, okay, y'all are just stacking people in here. This is a bit lazy. Let's, create something different.
There is a line in the sand where you've gone too far. But I do think there's room for these groups to ebb and flow and grow and shrink. But I don't know where that is with Hurt Business. I don't know if this is just it. But I think the way that they've designed Hurt Business is I think they could recruit more people as they go. And I kind of think that's fine. But like you said, you can absolutely take that too far. But I don't know. We won't know until they do it, I guess.
I wouldn't even mind if they added a couple SmackDown talents. So the both shows, because it's weird that Retribution came out and then now they're only on Raw. I understand they got contracts and everything, but they keep saying they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, to whoever they want.
Yeah, they decided they just like Raw though.
Why haven't they showed up back on SmackDown?
Yeah. They're like, no, we just like Raw.
SmackDown's vulnerable right now because they don't have the bodyguards of the Hurt Business.
Yeah, that's true. They should. Let's see real quick. Klump, can you slow down the typing?
Yes.
Or search for it on your... I mean, are you making an essay or are you typing to a friend?
Making an essay.
Okay, good. We'll get back to it. We'll get you in time to finish your essay. Don't even worry about it.
Damn right.
The Raw Tag Team Championship match. I was not a fan of this match. I just wanted to say one thing about it before we get on to the Bayley-Asuka thing, which I know Kev has a few things to say about. The ref, I don't think botched the finish. I think the ref botched his communication. There's getting to a point where they clearly ended the match because Garza was done. I feel like they were going to have Garza and Andrade go over.
I do too.
This is Clash.
Yeah.
They were. I think they were going to have Angel and Andrade go over. I think that Garza got hurt, and they said, well, we can't put a fucking title on a guy who just broke his knee in half. So they told the ref, get to 3, take it home, and Street Profits are going over, and he didn't communicate it with the talent, and so it looked like the ref fucked up. And I think that's not the only time we've seen it. We saw it when Ivar got injured. He got hurt. They called the match. They said, just end it. And let's not worry about it. I think they're playing things a little bit safer right now after everything that happened with Matt Hardy. I'm not even upset about it. I think that it would be good for all companies to play a little bit safer than they do at times. So, more power. This is one of the things they're doing that I think they're really doing right, and all the things they do wrong. I think them calling these matches the way they have been has been something right. This is the way we should be doing it. We should be taking a lot of this out of the hands of the talent. With that in mind, maybe they're saying Street Profits are going over. This is the 3, and Andrade's like, no, I'm not doing it, and kicks out. That could be.
But do you think there might have been a language barrier there?
That's possible.
Like, hey, it's over, and didn't understand them.
I don't think so because these
it's,
guys speak English. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
Andrade kicked out, and he may have had a hard time understanding or picking up what the ref was saying. And I think that's possible, but I don't think it's the case just because it happened in the Ivar match too.
Yeah.
And that was Ricochet who kicked out.
Yeah.
Ricochet knows English. He might be from Kentucky, but he knows English.
It's not push it.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Kentucky.
Yeah. So that's all I really want to say about that match is that the refs are not getting to a point where they're communicating clearly with the talent of what has to happen when these last-minute changes are happening to protect the talent. And I don't know what is to be done with that, but it's something that I think ought to be addressed because it's making them look sloppy in times when they're actually protecting their talent and they should be looking great. You know what I mean? Yeah. You should look awesome right now. Fuck it, man. Why do we even got to do a 3 count? Just fucking call it. Just have the ref say no contest. Yeah. Hey, unable to continue. The match is like on the thing. It just rings. Everyone's looking around, and he's all like, "Yep, this guy's injured. We're not going to continue the match with someone who's significantly injured. That's just how we do things here." I'm fine with that.
And it'll make the Matt Hardy situation look even worse if they did that.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm here for the pettiness, but that's the level of pettiness that I don't need to happen. Wouldn't it be great if they just rubbed their noses in it? Dick.
The ref literally grabs the mic, just stares at the camera. We're protect our talent, and I just continue. So we're just making sure that he's okay. So we're just gonna stop this.
Yeah, he goes. We don't run a sloppy shop. Guess who's not cleared to finish this match? And he fucking throws the mic, and you're like, Jesus. Why did that ref just cut a fucking promo?
But yeah, that was one of the things I was going to say about this match that you touched on, Marsh, is that I definitely think that the Profits were going to lose the title. They, the commentary said it several times on how long this reign has been and stuff like that. Normally when they do that, they're trying to bring it to the forefront and then they're going to drop them.
That, as well as the commentary kept saying about how unusually well Andrade and Angel were working together as a team. They're really pushing hey, maybe Zelina was a bad influence. Hey, maybe these guys have had the titles for way too long. Just building you up to be ready for that moment. And then this unfortunate thing happens, and they did the right thing and protected the guy, and they did it in a way that made the ref look bad, and I just feel bad for the ref.
Yeah, and that was one of my notes on here that I didn't like. Just as a whole in the view is that literally Clash of Champions, every belt's up, this and that, and outside of the terrible 24/7 spots, no belts changed hands.
Yeah, I guess none of them did.
God damn.
And and it's even crazier to me because, probably just because it's quarantine and everything's looking very similar. It is I never, some of these title reigns have been for quite a while now, and the one, I was shocked with. Shinsuke and Cesaro. I think they said that they've had it 100 and some days already, like 3 months, and I was like,
wow,
that felt like 2 weeks ago.
By the way, how sick is their finishing? The swing into the Kinshasa.
Yeah.
Every time
that's such a good end.
So good. Here's the other thing too. I suspect, and I don't know anything. We're not insiders. We don't pretend to have inside knowledge. We are just a bunch of idiots who like to drink and yell about wrestling. But my gut tells me TJ came up with that. He's still a producer over there. The finish that Cesaro and TJ had was the Cesaro swing into a drop kick or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think that he was like, I bet you can knock that Kinshasa and get that guy's head clean off. And I bet you Cesaro and Shinsuke look at each other and they're like, I bet you I could
Fuck
take
yeah,
a
we
dude's head right
can.
off. Yeah. And TJ's all like, get out there and knock someone's head clean off. And then Lucha House Party's like,
Yeah.
are we up next?
Yeah, is it our
Is that-
turn?
Are we going up next? And they're like, oh, yeah. No, yeah, it's you. And they just look at each other.
Quietly walk up to Lucha House Party. Hey, who's taking the end of the match? Cool.
Yeah.
You might want to pad your mask. What do you?
Yeah.
Just add some stuff to it. Like, how hard is this? Like, go over there. Like, let me see. They just start fucking hitting the mask. You need something harder.
Yeah.
Why?
He just TJ just walks over and puts his hand around his neck and he goes, he's going to need a 7 3/8. Nothing, man. You're fine.
Don't worry
Get
about
out there. Yeah, knock him dead, man.
Is this why Cesaro was kicking watermelons outside? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, just such a good finish. So good. So, yeah, I do agree with that as far as, like, no titles changing hands. However, I do think there is something to be said for having a Clash of Champions in which you solidify your champions as champions against solid contenders. However, we didn't necessarily get that across the board. There was an announcement early on that Shayna and Nia and Nikki Cross were all not cleared to show up. They had tested negative for, or them, I don't know, Retribution had tested negative for COVID and were not cleared to come in for 2 weeks quarantine. Nia, Shayna, and Nikki has been a little more murky about the reasoning behind them, but it sounded and felt semi-similar, maybe in contact with someone, maybe they're in testing, I don't know. We're not behind-the-scenes people, we're not getting leaked information, we just like to do this. And that ended with Bayley coming out and kind of doing an open challenge, and the person who came out to accept that challenge was Asuka.
Nice.
I'm never...
Ooh.
What? Did you not watch it, dude?
What? I didn't even know that there was a pay-per-view until we started talking. I'm like, keep going. I'm enjoying this.
Asuka coming out.
Yeah, bread.
This is how I felt watching it, and then I want to know what Kev felt watching it. Asuka comes out, and I thought, because on the way out, and I was like, man, I'd really like a Mickie James or someone from NXT to kind of get a title shot. And I was like, but I don't want it wasted because there's no build. And I was like, I don't know where you go with this, where you're able to put on a match with somebody where people aren't invested, but it's also not going to be a shitty match. I was like, I just want a good match out of Bayley. And Asuka
And then
came out,
Ember Moon comes out.
right? But knowing full well they're going to be doing something else with this, right? Because all the Sasha Bayley stuff is the true story. Nikki's always been third wheel in this story about Sasha and Bayley, which is fine. And I think actually has made Nikki look really well, or really good, even though that she's not winning and she's coming off as kind of a loser. I think it's just for Nikki, she's coming off good, but shows that she needs a little something, a little extra oomph. She needs something. She'll have a change that'll take her to the next level. But knowing the story wasn't about them, I see Asuka, I go, okay, I'm never going to say no to a Bayley-Asuka match because they always put it out. They're always doing a great job together. No complaints in that regard, but little disappointed it wasn't like a Mickie who people have been behind, you know? Kev, what did you think about this?
As soon as I heard Asuka's music, I hated. I thought it was stupid. I hate when they put a talent twice on one pay-per-view. Unless it's, like, who was it, Seth, that had, the U.S.
Both
and
titles.
the world title. Yeah, cool, he needs 2 matches, that's fine. But when it's an open challenge and Asuka comes out, first it pissed me off just for the simple fact that she's on.
Yeah.
And, it's like, wait a second, it made it look like no one on SmackDown wants to go after the title.
Yeah.
And I just, plus Asuka got hurt in her match beforehand. And I think, this would have been an awesome opportunity to showcase somebody from NXT, have a good match, make Bayley keep trying to put him away, and then get frustrated and, attack her with the chair. And there you go. You got your DQ finish. And then Sasha, runs in and hits her with the chair, which kind of startled me. Like, I was watching it on my iPad, and I was all close to it, and then all of a sudden it was just like, whap! I was like, oh, shit! And,
Yeah.
it was Sasha. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was a bit more than I expected to. And you had said that to me off air at one point. And it occurred to me that probably was the right move, because my thing was like, man, I don't want it to be like on a Tegan or Dakota or even Shotzi Blackheart to come out and have a title match which people would be clamoring for and loving, but would have no build and isn't going anywhere. I was like, what a waste that would be. But Kev made a huge point where he's all like, well, have them do so well that it actually frustrates Bayley and she uses the chair to get out of the match. Boom, you get your DQ, you get Sasha coming out, win-win. NXT goes back down to NXT and says, yeah, I had it if she wasn't for that goddamn chair. You know, and then they've got that bragging rights, and you're building towards a bigger thing down the line.
Yeah,
you know
you can reestablish that, you know, later if they want to.
Yeah, years later they could revisit that.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, they should have not wasted it on a return, you know, or like a Naomi or an Ember Moon or something like that, where it's like, holy shit. But even like a Lacey Evans, like, throw her out there, you know, do your thing. But it just, to me, makes the SmackDown women's division look like no one's hungry enough for the title.
Yeah, it does. Which may also play into the SmackDown women's division storyline at some point, right? It may be that no one's stepping up at a certain point, you know.
Yeah, unless they're waiting for the draft, you know, we need to shake things up, blah, blah, blah.
I just want to say, not to interrupt, but because it's, I think, a good joke, I'm really upset that Nia and Shayna weren't there, because I feel like Kev's line would have been a perfect joke for Marsh.
What?
Nia's hungry enough to go.
No. I see. I see.
Yeah, we could also hear her typing the whole time.
Yeah, were you Googling jokes just now?
Everyone was talking.
Yeah.
So.
You're Googling jokes at the time?
Yeah, it's really distracting, though.
Let's see. Was there anything you want to say about Asuka Bayley, Klump?
I agree with Kevin here. Yeah, I think that an NXT talent, like, I was thinking Rhea Ripley, you know, have someone, like, they've held the title, they're kind of in a weird spot, that'd be cool. Come up, not have EO, you know, not have the person with a belt, but have them come up and go for it. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And then have, lose, but a damn good match, a match that, like, looks fucking bomb. And then, you know, Sasha comes out, or this could have been a cool moment to have somebody beat Bayley because of Sasha. Like, I think it would have been neat to have Sasha pull pull that Eddie move, you know, where, you know, I'm gonna cheat, or have you lose by a cheat that nobody's gonna see. I would have loved that, you know, and then it's a really good match. Bayley struggling, and you're seeing Bayley not like they're gonna win it, but then they go for the chain. And you're like, ah, shit, this is gonna happen, and then Sasha comes out in some way preempting the hit, and then, you know, in my eyes, Rhea wins it, and you're like, fuck, that's cool.
I think you could, but I don't think you want to take the title out of the story with Sasha and Bayley. They're too big for that. I think that, like Kev said, you have it end with Bayley using a chair to get out of the match or a kendo stick, and Rhea would take the DQ win, because then she will have a win, and it'll show her as a world title contender. And then whenever she comes back, whatever's going on with her and Bayley, they got unfinished business. You know.
Fair.
Let's see. I don't think I want to get into it tonight, because I know that we want to make sure we don't go too long. But maybe next week we'll be able to talk a little bit about. They just announced that did not announce. Nobody announced this. This is a fucking dirt sheet rumor. Maybe we'll have more information as we go. But right now, the rumor is that Bayley and Sasha are slotted into main event Hell in a Cell. And there's a lot of discussion online right now that's really hysterical to me, because people don't understand that internet's fake, and it's really good. They sound like the Galaxy Quest nerds, is what the producer said, where they're just like coming up like, well, back in February of 2019, this was going on. I was like, well, that wouldn't have happened if back in 2018 they were doing this. Like, a real back and forth of how people feel this storyline is gone and needs to go. I think it'd be fun for us to break down for a while, but I think it's going to probably take us a good half hour to break down where we think it should go from here.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of, to me, when they announced Hell in the Cell, because we thought initially that they were going to skip Hell in the Cell this year.
Yeah.
And, you know, now that as soon as they announced it, you know, that's who, you know, I was thinking is going to be in there. I was like, oh, it's Sasha and Bayley. It kind of sucks because it's like, I don't want it to be wasted here. maybe not the blow off, but to just go through it would be cool. But
Yeah, I
this
think
is
there's
where the
one more step.
storyline ends. It sucks. Yeah.
And I don't think it ends here, but a lot of people are saying that it has to end here, and I was like, that's the stupidest shit.
No.
Yeah.
I think so personally, and yeah, we would need to go in. I think what would be really cool is it's like the big building point where we think it's going to be a blow off, and then I truly want them at WrestleMania to have their blow off, and it not be for a title though. Like
I don't know. We'll get into that next week
Yeah.
because I do think that there's a lot to talk about there, especially because I think that it could go either way. So yeah, we'll talk about both sides of that. What if they go in there with the title? What if they don't? What's more important? All that stuff. And I think that I agree with you that they're big enough to not need it. The only thing I'm going to say about it before we move on is if Sasha is in a Hell in a Cell match, she will have been the only woman in all Hell in a Cell matches at that point. She will be. There's only been 2 so far, and it was her and Bailey, or her and Charlotte, and her and Becky. Now you'd have her and Bailey, so you'd have Sasha just being like the queen of Hell in a Cell. So if you ask me, Sasha makes a lot of fucking problems, man. If people got to blow it off in Hell in a Cell every goddamn year.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good footnote for Sasha too, because every one of the 4 horsewomen has something to lay a legacy on at this point, and that would be something to me. Like, this is the person who's been in every Hell in the Cell match with the others. Like,
yeah.
Like
she's done a couple other things, but that would be a good one. Yeah, she's also was the first women's match in India. But
I'm not trying to dismiss, dude. I'm just throwing something out there. Like, this is
yeah, no,
really
I'm saying that'd
cool.
be great. That'd be great to tag onto it. But I'm saying I agree that like the little stuff that she's got are like these little nice tags. Like she was in the first ever women's Iron Man match. She didn't win. She was in the first ever women's match in India. Didn't win. She's in the Hell in a Cell matches and doesn't win.
She's the first ever tag team champ.
First ever tag team champ. So there's stuff there. But Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton ambulance match. Has there ever been a good ambulance match besides Shane and Kane?
No. And this proved it.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money. I'm gonna put out my Shane referee figure right now. Yeah, what do you guys think of this match? Was it incredible? What a strong, good champion we have that needs 4 legends to come in and attack, and he still barely scrapes by.
Yeah, it was a 5-on-1, and I hated it.
God.
How is he not a fucking heel? Like, he's a heel in every way. Yeah, he's a heel in every way but them saying, "Oh, you're such a piece of shit."
Yeah.
And he comes out and celebrates it. He comes out on Raw and he goes, "Yep, it took every single one of you." You're like, what? He goes, I got to figure out what kind of champion I'm going to be. Okay. I'm not going to be cleared by doctors, and I'm going to still fight all the time.
Yeah, why? Why?
Because that's the kind of champion I want to be. That's a bad champion, man. That's a bad example.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that, Pacquiao Mayweather match where Pacquiao had Canelo, Martinez, and Marquez come out just fuck up Mayweather, and then Pacquiao won, and everyone loved it?
Yeah.
Owen De La Hoya, just like...
Yeah.
Dude, and
each one takes a couple shots and bounces. This is single-handedly the worst. Like, made the champion look so weak. The weakest looking champion right now. Like I said, it was 5-on-1. Each one, as soon as Randy's dominating the match, and then somebody else comes in and helps Drew, and then Randy overcomes it. Somebody else comes in. Randy looks great.
Randy's incredible.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's 5-on-1. Do it. I wanted him to win. And,
by the end of it, I was rooting for Orton so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end of it, I was like, edge of my seat. Come on, Randy! Don't let them take you down.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Get him. Yeah. Orton looked incredible. Also, Orton looked so good. You're like, why was his health in question if he was going to get cleared for the match? Drew looked so bad. You're like, did anyone check Drew? Like, this guy can't put this guy away, even when every move gets done. Big Show chokeslammed him through a table, and Drew McIntyre's all like, it's not going to do it for me. I'm not going to be able to finish it. Then Shawn Michaels kicks his head off, pushes him 30 feet onto the ground on concrete, and Drew's like, I'll pin him now. And Orton's like, no, Not enough.
Oh, no.
Like what?
Yeah.
No, it. I can't think of a worse way for this to go, and this is why when you guys use when Kevin used the sandwich analogy, this is why instead of bologna, this is like raw and or bad chicken. This is something where you get it and you're like not even 2 bites in, it's like everything's good, but I need to go shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're
Dude,
sprinting out of the restaurant thinking, yeah.
Yeah, this is that when Big Show came out, which first off, I love that Big Show comes out, puts his mask down to reveal who he is.
Yeah, because no one knew.
Who's that? Who's that? I can't tell because he's wearing a mask, Michael. Could be anybody. Oh my God!
That was great.
Big Show.
Big Show, you are making my night. If not for the worst thing otherwise.
Yeah. But apart from that moment, which I thought was so good, I did think that at that moment I didn't hate it. I was like, okay, Big Show's getting his comeuppance. Randy Orton's gonna lose it now, and that'll be that. Big Show fucked him over. And then Drew just can't put him away, and I was like, what the fuck is Drew's problem, dude? And then was it Christian right after that in the back? As soon as I saw Christian, I was like, oh fuck this, dude. I was like, they're all coming out.
Yeah.
I was like, they're all coming out.
Well, this Christian, as soon as that came up, it's like, all right, this is going to go on until each one has its spots. But then right before that, Drew was setting up Randy on the near the ambulance, and Randy's leaning up the door, or on the door of the ambulance, and I was like, he's going to kick off the door. Like, I see it coming.
Yeah.
He goes, Randy moves, knocks the door off. Oh, he hurt his knee, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, my God. I love Randy. I mean, he was
Randy was a champ. Randy is literally the best person probably on earth. If Flair came out and threw his ostomy bag at Randy, I might have upgraded this match.
I saw this as soon as Christian came out. No dig on Christian. Christian did a tremendous job. He's awesome. But when I knew what this was, I was like, this is why people don't watch this shit. This is cartoonish, hokey shit. This is the shit that makes people turn away. This is stupid. Just how I felt about it. I was pissed.
Yeah. And I mean, I like the Shawn Michaels sweet chin music, and Randy's like out on his feet, and he kind of just shoves him off. But that is cartoon 100%, and it's like whatever. I was expecting.
Good.
I was just gonna say I was expecting Flair, like when Randy was about to close and win. I was expecting Flair to give him a low blow.
Yeah, I thought that Flair was going to do a low blow into a Claymore or something.
I finally get to say this. Defend this shit.
Yeah.
Defend this, motherfuckers.
The only thing they did in it that was smart was not bring Edge out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that they did smart was they didn't bring out Edge, because if they had brought out Edge, it would have overshadowed their actual champion. But
which I think he was overshadowed 100%.
Yeah,
he looked so weak that he needed 4 other guys' help to put away Randy Orton, and he's barely wins, and he almost lost.
Yeah, he almost lost a number of times. It was really the fact that he won was remarkable. At the end of it, you're like, oh shit, I can't believe he did it, man. That guy was looking terrible all night.
I'm at the point where I'm convinced I can kick Brock's ass by the amount of times that, the amount of people who are helping Drew sort of win.
Yeah. I mean, for fuck's sake, you have that many people helping you of that caliber? Yeah. Anyone can win. You kidding?
Are we going to find out that there's an alien species that took Drew's ability to wrestle away to make other better wrestlers for their entertainment of their home planet, and Drew is going to enlist the animated characters from WWE Camp or Hanna-Barbera properties that WWE works with to beat them?
You're the sober one on the show.
Yeah.
You're the sober one on the show.
You're sober?
That made me happy. Fuck everyone else.
All right. As long as
I don't care. Fuck you all.
Yeah, I mean, it was absolutely garbage. And to be honest, even on Raw, let's talk about that before we get into the last match. On Raw, Drew does this open challenge, looking like an idiot, coming out, kissing everybody's ass in the beginning.
Did I kill them? Was that bad?
What?
Can you not hear us, Klump?
Did they mute me?
No.
Are they not talking?
Kev, you can hear him, right?
Bastards!
Yes. I can hear everything.
Yeah, so he has to be able to hear us.
Really?
He's muted himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Klump, we definitely
can't
hear
hear
you. We see you,
Yeah.
and it looks like I don't know
Yeah,
what to tell him.
you need to type in there because he can't hear you. So telling him this way, you need to check. I'm typing it out because I'm halfway done already. Your audio settings. Can't believe him.
No, my audio is fine. I
It's
can hear
not
Kevin.
fine. No, you can hear Kevin, but not us. That's definitely your own audio then. It's the one thing.
I like that
Okay,
we
let me
can
check.
still hear him trying to curse. And okay,
Yeah.
well there goes Klump.
Well, he's got to reconnect. He's gonna come right back.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
But
let's talk Raw.
so Drew comes out. It's this huge, weird, stupid love fest at the beginning that I really wasn't into, and the whole thing culminates at the end with Randy Orton in snowboard goggles, which are apparently night vision goggles, opening up gunfire on everyone in that room. Dude, that was a whole bunch of gunshots, was it not?
It sounded like it.
He's calling in.
I don't see or hear it. Where?
I don't see the flag. It's only coming up on my shit.
Don't.
I'm gonna have to lock up my screens and hope that. Here we go.
No.
Here we go. Is he coming in? Oh my god. Maybe hit that menu and call him one more time. Kev, what did you think? I mean, you heard it, right? It was gunfire?
No. I mean, it sounded bad, but it was just, somebody hitting air on the floor. But I could see, him sitting there with a smoking gun, just, turns on the light and just, blows the smoke out of the barrel.
Yeah.
We are back. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. My name's Krabby.
We've been here the whole time talking, Klump.
He's the sober one on the show. I'm having more screwball.
You would be, you would not be our designated driver, even sober. I'm sorry.
I know he's gonna not be the one drinking all night long, and then we all look at Kev and be like, "Can you drive us home?" He's like, "It's best that I do." Klump, at the end of Raw, when Randy Orton went into the room, turned off the lights, and with the snowboard goggles on, did he open up gunfire? That sounded like gunshots to me the whole time.
It did, and as somebody who's unfortunately heard a lot of gunshots in their neighborhood lately, I was like, gunfire?
Yeah, he goes in there and you just hear like whap, whap, and I was all like, "Oh my god!" Like I was halfway expecting for them to turn on the lights and just blood fucking everywhere, like a Dexter scene.
Who did Randy upset? I thought Randy was favored. What happened here? Why are we so dead set on ruining Randy?
It wasn't garbage. He did the best he could with it, but it was weird, man.
Honestly, it reminded me of an R-Truth segment. Like it felt so silly to me.
It did feel goofy. Yeah. Did you guys have anything to say about that?
Well, I just wanted to go back to Drew's opening promo on Raw. All the legends come out. It's like, all right, whatever. We knew this was going to happen. But the way he decides to do the open challenge, he like turns around and like, oh, there's 16-time champ Ric Flair. All you guys have been, world champions, and this and that, and then all of a sudden he's just like, well, I guess I want to be a fighting champion too. Let me, open challenge. How about that?
Yeah.
In his smug heel way, but he's not a fucking heel.
Yeah.
I was sorry, real quick. I was really confused because it felt like this was just ad-libbed. It didn't feel like anyone wrote this for him, and I think, it didn't come off as, it just didn't come off as compelling at all. After a while, I kind of turned to Marsh and I said, "What are we watching? Why are we watching? Because I'm not into it."
We're watching it so we can drink.
Yeah, because it's a good reason to drink. And if you got a bottle of Screwball, you don't need a lot of reasons, but you got to have at least one.
Hashtag thank you, Drew.
Hashtag thank you, Drew, for the Screwball. We're not sponsored by Screwball, but if we were, think how much more we would have talked about it. So, guys, want to send us some bottles?
Just saying.
Better.
And I
Go blow through them. Drew, just...
When he first came back, like, from NXT, like, I really wanted to like him too. That's the weird thing.
Yeah, I was so excited for him.
Yeah. Boy, were we wrong.
Mojo just commented. He just made a comment to me.
What'd you say?
He posted a shirt because he's got this new lineup, Hype, and it's got these like black lines on it. And so I put in there hashtag Ref Chic, and he liked it and put hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good. Mojo, friend of the show.
He'd be a good champ.
Yeah, we go way back.
Yeah, we go way back.
We homies.
I do
But
want
that
him in
was,
Retribution, but go ahead.
I do too. But going back to Drew coming back and stuff like that, I was excited when he came back and when he went through NXT and stuff like that, and then when he got the call up, last year, it's on our first episode, but when we were talking about the Rumble, I said that he was gonna win. Like, he needs this. This would be great.
They're all in first
That
episode.
like, cool. And
They're all first episode.
They're all the first episode.
yeah.
Yeah, weren't you here like 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely on the first. I know that for sure.
Yeah. We I was saying that I picked him to be the Rumble winner, and I was like, this is gonna be great. This is cool. He got a bunch of steam.
Yeah.
And then just the 180 that happened after he won the title, I do not want a title off of somebody, as much as I want it off of him right now.
Yeah, when he first came over, all we kept talking about was how he's going to make such an amazing Universal Champion. We thought he was going to be the dude, and we're like, this is it, man. He's going to be so good. And by the time he won Royal Rumble, it was like, this is good. That's a good move. He's going to be incredible. But by the time he even got to Mania, we were already over it. We're like, what the fuck is he doing? I do not want this guy as the champion.
Yeah.
And he's coming off so crazy, smug, and shitty in all these promos, dude. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a thing? Are we just fucked up as fans where we want something so bad that when we get it, we hate it? Are we just not willing to accept it? Because we didn't accept Seth as a champion until he lost it. I mean,
No,
it's like
'cause that
Becky
sucked.
said. Yeah, I mean,
It's like that Principal Skinner's meme. Or wait, are the children? No, they're just wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it gets to the same point. I've been saying forever I wanted Bayley to have a huge long run as SmackDown champion, and I've loved every second of it. So I don't think it's completely. I mean, Apollo Crews getting a U.S. title, I loved it. I wanted it.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have a long run with it, but I mean, Becky, we wanted that run to last a long time, and it did, and I wasn't upset about it at all. So I think it's possible.
Yeah.
But Becky did say it best: "You're a hero in the chase and a villain in the victory."
Yeah.
So, Klump's looking up results for Becky Lynch and how long Bayley's had a title.
No, like it does say like I can't think of a worse like turnaround. Like I miss Rollins as an annoying ass champion compared to this shit. Like it feels like I feel almost like with somebody listening to us talk and like only heard half of it where he said, God, he's such an annoying fucking babyface, and like, I have an idea. It's the babyface part. Yeah, no, we're gonna make him the face of the company, but make him like a dick. like we're gonna do Revenge of the Nerds, but you're supposed to root for the fucking like alphas or megas, whatever.
I feel like watching Drew as a champion just makes me appreciate Seth as a Universal Champion so much.
Yeah,
like Seth,
yeah,
we were so wrong about you. We were so wrong about you, Seth. You were our guy. You were always our guy. Let's get into this before it gets too late. Universal Championship match: Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Battle of the Bloodlines. What did you guys think of this match, man? And the build, man, the videos, the promos, man, when Uso was on SmackDown and he goes, there he goes, Mr. WrestleMania, Mr. Main Event. You know what they say when they see me? Fuck, dude. Which one are you? I was like, fuck.
Which
Well,
is
we should
fucked up, but true.
we should preface it with the fact that we watched the special on the network.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We watched The Chronicle on the network. Did you guys watch that about Jey Uso?
No, I want to watch it.
You got to watch it. You need a good cry in your life, man. And that guy, he's got a story, man. Because he even talks about, like... Yeah. He talks about being the youngest. That him and his brother are 9 minutes apart. And he's like, yeah, but you don't understand in Samoan culture. That's a thing. You know, he's like, I'm the youngest. Like, and they treat you that way. And he's like, sometimes my brother, he's like, he treats me like you got to listen to me, you know? And you're like, oh. And I think about that too with my old buddy Danny. He was always giving me shit, telling me that I had to respect my elders every time I talked to him or give him shit because he was 3 months older than me. Respect your elders, son. I was like, 3 months. And he goes, I am older, bottom line. You're like, okay. So,
it was a long 3 months back in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I guess you're elder. All right.
I went through a lot.
Yeah. You don't know what I saw during those 3 months. You don't know what I lived at that point. Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, I think that there's a thing there. So that story was great, and by the time you watch that story, you're rooting for Jey Uso, and then this match happens. Let's go ahead. Let's kick it off with Kevlar. Kevlar, what'd you think?
I thought it was a great match. You know, it's always good to see part of a tag team that, you know, you really like, one of them branch out, you know, one way or another and just completely shine. You know, almost kind of like going back to the first match where, you know, this new light's on Sammy that might not have been there before. And it's definitely on Jay now as well. And, you know, I loved it. It was a good match. The storyline there is amazing. And, you know, I had no complaints. The only complaint I had is when Jimmy finally runs out, I think he should have just thrown the towel immediately.
Yeah.
And then just said, no, enough, that's enough. And even get in the ring and get between them and, you know, hey, we're family, stop.
But I think they paced it well by not doing it that way. He came out and he looks at him because Jimmy and Jay are so close that he's telling him, I'm going to do this for you. And he sees the fight in his brother's eyes. He's just like, no, man, don't do it. And he's like, don't do it. Because he's begging his brother, let me finish this fight. And I can understand a hesitation in protecting your brother, but also believing in your brother. And that's the fight that Jimmy had, was he believes in him, but he knows he doesn't want to
he doesn't want to ruin it for him.
He doesn't want to cut his legs out from underneath him. He doesn't want to embarrass him. He wants to protect him at the same time. That could be a tough choice to make. How do you protect and hold up somebody and keep their ego intact? You know what I mean? So I can understand the struggle.
Well, and I was just going to say, I 100% agree with that, but then you don't have him throw in the towel afterwards or, you know, down the line. He's like, fine, you know, let it go and then do the things.
Right, but what happened after that, right? So I rewatched this part. This is the part I watched 6-7 times because Roman gets up and yells at Charles Robinson for checking on Jay. He's literally checking on Jay, and he gets in his face, and he's all like, don't make me address you again. He's like, if you make me have to address you again, I'll have you fired. You'll lose your job. And you're just like watching him bully a ref. And you see the look on Charles' face like, man, I don't want to lose my job, man. That's all I want. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not trying to... Yeah,
without
and of
this,
all
I'm
refs. But think about that, too.
I'm like a third-rate Ric Flair look like.
Any other ref, it wouldn't mean as much. But the fact it was Charles in there, and he looks at Charles, and everyone knows who Charles is. Any wrestling fan who's been a fan for even a couple years knows him and recognizes him as one of the great longtime refs. And for Roman to get in his face and said, I will take your job. You step aside. Yeah. And to watch him kind of, in a sense also where we've always seen Charles come off very strong. He gets in between people. He pulls people off of each other. He gets in their face. He gives them looks. He puts his finger in their face. Goes, no, don't you fucking do it. He's very much an authoritative role in there. He's not like all refs. So for him to be pushed aside that way, I thought was very big. And then shortly thereafter, that's when he comes around and he checks on Jay again. And Roman looks over and he's like, "What are you doing, man?" He goes, "I've been beating on him like this my whole life." And you're all like, fuck. So you're also watching Roman say, "I know how much he can take, and I'm going to take him the whole way there." Jimmy hobbles out. So this is the part where you don't like. He hobbles out and he's looking at him and goes, "Jay, I'm going to do it." And he's like, "No, man, forget this fool. Don't do it. Don't throw it. Don't throw it." And he's begging him not to. Then Roman, because it doesn't go on as long as it felt the second time. Second time I watched it, I go, okay, it's a little bit shorter than I thought. He only tells him a couple times, "Don't do it, don't do it." And he's not being hit. So he goes, well, maybe he's got a shot. Roman grabs him by the leg, and it's such a movie shot. He just gets sucked into the middle of the ring. Being pulled up. Looking at his brother. Roman gets on top of him and just starts wailing him as hard as he can, lefts and rights, nonstop. And that's when Jimmy's all like, "You're not defending yourself." He throws the towel in their faces to try and make him stop, but he won't. You can hear Jimmy on the outside telling him, "Stop the match. Stop the match." And he's like, "Ref, stop it." Dude, also, when Charles comes to check on him the second time, he goes, "I've beaten on him my whole life." He comes over and he's like, Jay. And then Jay just goes, "Nah, Charles. Nah."
Yeah.
And he's all like, "I'm good." And he says something. But you hear him say Charles. He goes, "No, Charles. Don't stop it." So he throws it on him, and then he dives in like Howard Dean from MMA. Couples over his head and just takes a few shots to the back. Herb Dean. Like Howard Duck Dean. Slides in, covers his head, takes a couple of punches to the back, and then looks at him and does the whole thing. "Man, what are you doing? What did you want?" He's like, "You're the tribal chief, man. Is that what you wanted?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, dude, there was so much emotion in this. And even Paul Heyman came off slimier than any other time he's ever come off, because Roman's telling Jay, "Call me the tribal chief," so much that Paul Heyman starts screaming at Roman, "You're the tribal chief. You're the tribal chief." And Roman looks at him disgusted and goes, "Shut the fuck up, Paul. Nobody want to hear from you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I thought
Paul,
that was really good.
oh my God, dude. It was so good to me because here's Paul begging the match to end, begging his fighter to stop doing this. And the only way he knew how, cater to his wishes. And he didn't get it. He didn't get it. It was never about hearing it at all. It was about hearing it from him. So all that long-winded to say, what do you think, Kev?
Just when Paul did that, he didn't want to hear it from Paul. He wanted to hear it from the tribal member or a tribal member. And, maybe I need to rewatch it a second time because, like I said, it just felt long to me that Jimmy was out there and said, "Should I do it? No, do it. No, yes, no, And maybe if I watch it a second time, it won't feel as long and, it'd be better. But, my initial things was it just felt like he should have done it immediately.
You know why it felt so long for you watching it?
Why?
Because you wanted the match to end. You felt bad for Jay. You said, "This is too much. He can't. You felt like Jimmy needed to stop this match because you felt that Jay wasn't going to stop and he was just going to get the shit kicked out of him. We're going to be here all night watching him just get the shit kicked out of him. It's pointless. Stop the match."
Yeah.
I think that's why it felt like it dragged on, because you couldn't wait for him to throw in the towel to just stop the beating. And I think that's what makes it so good is, yes, it felt too long on the first watch because you're just like, just stop it, dude. Just let him do it. You agreed with him. You understood why Jimmy was out there and you agreed with Jimmy. Yes, you have to stop this. I'm not saying you got worked, man, but you got worked. Klump, what'd you think?
I really, really liked it. I liked the way this went because I didn't want it to be. I didn't want Roman to get taken to his limit this early on, but I also didn't want Jay to look like, to look bad. And I feel like they wove with this well, where Jay got beat, but it didn't make him look weak. It made him look, like crushed more than anything. And like, there's a difference there. It looked like an unstoppable force destroying an immovable object. That will,
Yeah,
And
and Jay shook up Roman. He shook him for a minute there. He could have got one over. He was close. He was close to sneak in a victory, as they say. Go ahead.
And I did like, so initially, like, I agreed with Kev, as I thought Roman should have, or Jimmy should have thrown the talent immediately, but no, as I think about it, it should have been held out like this, like, to hang, to delay, to be like, not just see his brother, but to see like himself, like, no, you can do this, we can do this, because in a sense, I feel like this is a great spot for them as individuals to stand up, but also them not necessarily as a team, but as a family and as part of the tribe, as you know, this lineage. Like, nah, fuck this. I'm not letting this happen to us. And I thought that was awesome. And then then the brother comes in. Like, that conflict can be so many layers. I thought it was fantastic.
The only thing I thought was missing is if Jimmy was crying at the very end, and not selling the crying, just tearing. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like blubbering. Ooh! He's just looking at him and goes, "You're the tribal chief, man. Is that what you wanted?" And you just see like tears well up. Oh my God, I would have lost it. If he was just looking at him like, you know, that mad, that upset that you did this to your own family, that is welling up tears in his eyes, and he's still looking at him pissed. This is what you wanted, you know? Ugh.
I feel like Roman in a heel mode too is the most dominant we've seen him in a lot of ways. Like, I think he truly is better as a heel.
Yeah.
If he becomes the face again, I think he absolutely could, but I think him as a heel is just this like frightening force in the best way, you know?
Dude, and then after that, he looks over at Paul, and you just see him look at him. He goes, "Go get it. I want it." And Paul runs out, grabs the lei that Jay came out with, and puts it on, because he's all like, "I'm wearing our family's thing on the way out that you wore in." You know, like, I was like, every bit of it was so sweet. Dude, you know how many moves were in this match?
A lot more than normal ring matches.
I think there was like 6. I'm going to have to count, but there wasn't a lot of moves happening. There was a lot of punches. And man, the way Roman does those fucking underhanded punches.
Yeah.
That thing looks like it's going to knock your teeth flat out. And I bet you Jay doesn't even feel it. I bet you it's a cloud.
Yeah.
That's how good these guys are, I think. He looked like he punched Jay so hard that his eye was going to go crooked. Get that Shawn Michaels eye.
I feel like in seeing this too, when Roman came back from fighting cancer, I think there was I was frustrated that he didn't come back more evolved in many ways. You know, I feel like, and you know, that's unfair for me to have said. I'll admit it. You know, I feel like a bit disappointed when he came back initially, and that's unfair because that was a time of him healing and doing better. I feel like Roman leaving for COVID and taking that time, he needed to, and I agree with that. I think for him, for his safety, but I feel like there's, you know, maybe a fire under his ass, because I know there's people that made fun of that, you know, or commented on that. Where is he? And he took, you know, the ability to really evolve a lot of his character work. You know, and this just truly highlights it. You know, this is Roman Reigns in this role, in this performer. He's one of the highlights of the roster, and I'm like, yeah, this is why you're putting your money behind him, because he can do this.
You know what this match told me? Told every fan to shut the fuck up already. You think you know it all. This, I think, is what Dusty Rhodes talked about when he was in FCW. And this, I think, is the Roman that Vince has always known.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we as fans never allowed it to happen, because we all thought we knew fucking better. So when I see this is fans eating crow, and I fucking love it. Because it's all like, oh, I get it now. After this, oh, I get it. Yeah, I'd put everything in this guy. I'd invest my whole company in this guy, for sure.
Yeah.
You want to talk number one draft pick if you're starting your own company? If it's not Roman, you're dumb at this point.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev.
I was just saying, yeah, we can finally see Vince's view on this. Like, we see the talent now. We see, you know, how everyone's getting, how they feel about it. And this is, by far the best Roman we've had.
Yeah. I felt like we walked in with half a tag team and a tier 1 champion, a legendary manager, and a damn good ref, and we walked out knowing we had 5 incredible storytellers at the highest level in that ring.
I think also just by how Roman acted in this, and it might, I think this is a great first test because it's family and he has that comfortability. I think that was very deliberate here.
Oh yeah.
Because who would be better to work with? I think, there's a lot of talk online about Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. I don't think that's gonna be it. I think Roman versus Cena, and I think a really awesome way for this to go would be Roman and Cena having that feud where they're going like promo for promo, and have Roman show Cena like, it's a promo, man, old man, what are you doing? Because I think, it's not just Paul. Roman has truly stepped up. Roman has is able to truly show it, and I think Roman can keep doing that. And it's like, oh fuck, this is a moment.
Yeah, he had a spot on Twitter, and I think on Instagram, right before the night before, and he goes, "Hey Jay," and he's like on an exercise bike kind of deal. He goes, "I just saw that chronicle about you," and he goes, "It's great, man." He goes, "I see you trying to level up." Because the thing is that's just the level I live on. I am that level, and you're so like, fuck. Then he comes out shirtless.
So glad you did the goddamn vest. I was very tired of the vest. It looked silly.
Yeah, I think he looks. I mean, he looked great without the vest, and his shoulders look ridiculous, dude. That dude looks like an action figure. You're like, oh yeah, of course I want to toy him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev.
And they need to change his entrance. If you want to keep the music, that's fine. But yeah, well, I'm saying if you want to keep it, that's
No, I'm not okay.
It's
with
whatever.
It. It's gotta go. No, gotta go.
But the dog. You need to get rid of that.
God,
the dog.
Now that he's the tribal chief, do something with that. Like that'd be,
I
cool,
hope we get it this SmackDown. I hope that now that he did that and he's the tribal chief, I hope we start with some fucking.
Comes with like a lay.
Yeah.
With as his crown.
Yeah. Instead of the dog, you see like that Samoan print. The tribal tattoo style stuff, and you just get like Moana music playing, and he comes stomping out.
It would be amazing if he came out to a haka.
Dude.
Yeah.
He could. I don't even think he has to do the dance. He could just do it and walk down there. He could do like 2 steps of it even and be fine. Like, I think there's so much he could do with it and represent his culture and his family. The other thing is I think you could get to The Rock before Cena, because I think with Cena, it's already been done. The whole thing with Bray already shit all over his promo stuff. What are you doing, man? You're stuck in your promos. You're talking about bags of nuts. But with Rock, I think you can get there as a tribal chief thing, because he is the tribal chief of the family. They keep saying of the family, of the bloodline, of the Anawai, and they keep showing all the people from it. And you can't not blink twice when you see The Rock on there, and you'd be like, Roman's saying he's bigger than The Rock, dude. Like, you hear that, right? So I could see The Rock just coming out there, baby facing, smiling, and be like, "It's real cool what you're doing here, man, but there's only one head of the table."
Yeah.
And I said that, on the first episode a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And, I think that'd be great.
God damn
I think I think that'd be awesome. Even The Rock came out on, I don't think it was Twitter, it might have been Instagram, and kind of commented on it and stuff like that. And supposedly there was an interview that The Rock did, and they asked him about a return, and he's like, the only one I would want to return for is my cousin, if it made sense. It makes perfect sense right now.
Right now,
because I even talked about the Hollywood WrestleMania and stuff like that. This is, to me, this has been. He's supposed to be here.
Exactly, and Tampa is The Rock's hometown, but so is Hollywood in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
I thought The Rock's hometown was Miami.
It's in Florida.
What are you talking about? All of Florida is one town, dude.
Yeah.
It's all one town.
I am looking this up.
If Miami and Tampa are the same city?
He's from fucking California anyway. He's from Hayward.
God, dude, you're the dumbest.
He went to the University of Miami.
Yeah, in Miami. That's not Tampa.
Yeah, but that's also his hometown.
That's where he went to the university.
The university's in Tampa.
And Roman went to Georgia Tech. Just random
Yes.
throwing that out there.
In Florida.
Yeah, Georgia Tech in Florida.
But I do
Bill
think we
from
can
Miami,
get there.
Florida.
I think we can get Rock and Roman, and it would be the biggest fucking thing.
Uh-oh.
I think you could do that.
Who wants
You know?
to be from Tampa?
I don't know, man. I went to Tampa.
I don't care if I get heat. Fuck Tampa.
Dude, I've been to Tampa. I remember there was one bartender I liked, and everyone else in town could go.
Yeah, you're selling it well. Don't ruin The Rock. The Rock is from Miami.
Yeah.
There are nice parts of Florida, Gator adjacent.
Yeah. But I will
just
say
won the Stanley Cup this year.
that's true.
Yesterday.
Tampa just won it. That's the same as the Jaguars, from what I understand. I don't know. So I think that this match, the two matches, the ladder match and this match was everything I love about wrestling. And the spot with Bayley and Sasha, that ongoing 4-year-long storyline, was the little cherry on top to me. That could have not happened. I'd been okay. It still would have been everything I loved about wrestling. But having the Sasha Bayley thing progress, a little bit of a sprinkle on there. This match to me, this Roman and Jay, this is what amazing wrestling looks like. This is wrestling in its best. It's not about the moves. It's not about jumping off the top. It's about telling a story that you're emotionally being moved from, and whatever that takes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The moves can get you there, but what was the real story here? Punching each other as hard as they could. Jay doing everything he could that he would do in a tag match, but not having his partner to help him. I mean, there was a lot there, man.
You got an amazing sourdough toasted to perfection. You know, you got stone ground mustard, amazing, garlic aioli on the bottom side. You get some decent condiments. Then, tomatoes are a little bit over. They're just tomatoes, kind of eh.
No,
you got
there's stuff that can go. There's stuff that can go.
Amazing fried jalapenos in it. Just like
We're not talking. You're not building a sandwich, dude.
The best
You're not talking about a sandwich the rest of the night.
Then raw fucking chicken in the middle. Drew, raw turnt chicken.
That's a good point. He's sour chicken for sure. Mm-hmm. But I think that, so you got the ladder match, which was everything I loved about the moves in wrestling, the bumps in wrestling, the crazy athleticism in wrestling. That was all in that ladder match. And then this one was almost no moves. There was athleticism for sure. And you had a couple of top tier guys in there. But there's also a guy in there who walked in there. You didn't know he was top tier. You didn't know he was that level. Mm-hmm. And you walked away and you went, oh, I didn't realize all these people get it. They get it on that level. You know what I mean?
I get it on that level.
Yes.
I can't put over that match enough. This one sold me on Roman. This one sold me on Jay. Sold me on Paul Heyman, Jimmy, and Charles Robinson. If you didn't believe these people didn't get it and know how to tell a story that's going to make you talk about it for a week, well, now you know. And after this one,
now you know.
right? And if you've been one of the dudes for the past how many 5-6 years saying fuck Roman, Vince is shoving him down our throats, he's not what I want, he needs to go away, and then you watch this and you just sit the fuck down and shut up now. Mm-hmm. Because you just found out what the office always knew. They're like, yeah, this is what we've been building the whole time. You didn't know it was a work in progress. Of course it wasn't done on day one. What did you not watch this? You don't know how this works? No, that's how I feel. Vince laughing in all of our faces, farting, doing the whole butt talk like Ace Ventura. Guys, I think that's all I had for the week.
Yeah.
I think that if you guys get the opportunity tonight, it's not that long of a match. Both of you guys, if you can, while you're in bed, put on the WWE Network. Watch that last match one more time for pacing. What did you have, producer? The what? Alexa? We did talk about it. We started with it.
That's when she was napping.
Oh, the social media stuff. Nah.
Oh yeah, we did.
If you really want to, we can. More or less, the whole thing with the Rey Mysterio family is people are really uneasy about because Aaliyah's 19 and Buddy Murphy is 32.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely weird. It's definitely uncomfortable. The entire family doesn't seem to be supporting it in storyline. It's them flirting as of right now. No, being 19 doesn't make that person a pedophile. No, being 32 doesn't mean you should be dating a 19-year-old.
It does.
I think people, there's a weirdness there, and there's a maturity level issue there, which you see all the time in actual life. That's the other thing. If it wasn't the case that you didn't see 19-year-old girls dating guys in their late 20s, early 30s, and vice versa, I've seen it the other way too. If that stuff never happened, I'd say this is outrageous. But that stuff happens, and this is a TV show, and the family doesn't support it, and they're trying to talk sense into her. Maybe we let the story play out and just see how that plays out, because I don't think this isn't necessarily like a grown adult and a toddler. This isn't this isn't a child.
Jeffrey's.
She's a young adult. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a bad idea, yes, and that's why the family says don't do this. This is crazy. You don't understand what's happening. But I also remember being 19 and thinking I knew a whole lot more than I did. So I get the character side of it. But go ahead.
And that's the thing that gets me is that I see this as 100% story and stuff like that. If it comes out that they're dating, 1932, yes, there's an age gap, but it happens, like you said. The thing I don't get is the huge backlash that is happening, even with Alexa Bliss just tweeting out, her support of Murphy, who, she used to date, and the huge backlash that she got. And it's like, to me, it's, it is storyline. It is, a young, naive 19-year-old girl thinking she knows everything. You see it in movies all the time. Like, my parents can't tell me who I'm going to date. I'm going to date this person, some dude on a Harley with tattoos all over the place that, is a bad guy. And it's like, guys, why? I don't understand why it's that big of a deal. And why
you see it in Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones people didn't want it to ever end. And the first episode actually had incest.
Yeah.
So there's levels, and the thing is right now it's someone flirting with someone they shouldn't be flirting with, and nobody approves of it.
I think it's an old. It's. I'm curious to see where it goes because you have to build an exposition. I've really liked the Dominic story thus far. Yeah. I feel like, to me, this is Rey Mysterio wants to bring his family into this, and that's awesome. I get that. It's his final run in many ways. But part of me wants this. We've never seen Aaliyah. And I feel like the reason that she's jumping into this is, you've never seen her. And that's awesome. It's great. Yeah. I want to see this become something good for her.
I think part of it is to help skyrocket Dominic. I think she's here to tell the story for Dominic to showcase stuff, which I'm okay with as well if she's there to put him over. But I don't think that she's meant to become a star or a valet for Buddy Murphy. And you know what I mean? I don't think this is going that way. And who knows? This could definitely get tasteless fast. But as of right now, I do understand the idea of, what do they call it? Grooming, they call it, that predators will do. I understand that concept too. And I'm not saying that the character Murphy isn't doing that. He also might not be actively, intentionally doing that. He might be trying to walk his boundaries, and I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird complexities to human emotions that I think is just being ignored, like doesn't happen. But I also think that as of right now, this is a flirtation between two people that no one in the story around them agrees with, and are trying to talk them out of it. And that's kind of how you would want that portrayed, I would think.
Yeah.
And it's also a TV show.
Yeah.
And it's also at times, it's the most often I hear more than any other description of wrestling from guys trying to explain it to people is it's a soap opera for men.
And this is a soap opera ass angle.
This is soap opera as fuck.
Yeah.
And you know what's, the longest running television shows of all time on every network? Soap operas. No one's shutting them down. What was that, producer?
Yeah, that's exactly how I watched it. I was like, oh, this is
The news.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Alexa was trying to support Buddy Murphy, and she was bringing up the fact that her and her boyfriend are about 10 years apart. I mean, I do also understand there's a difference between being 29 and being 19, and I think that's part of the story. I mean, they started it with she's naive. That's how the story started. Was, hey, we're going to tell you a story about a dumb teenage girl. And I don't mean dumb isn't dumb or whatever. I'm sorry. But
Dom's going to kick your ass.
Yeah, Dom's going to come beat the shit out of me with a stick.
Yeah, her saying, acting like, I know everything. You don't know me. You don't know my life. I was like, okay. She's just a teenage woman, because she's clearly, they said a million times how old she was, 19.
Yeah.
But I just thought, okay, I mean, it's a story. We'll see where it goes. I didn't think too in depth of it, like a lot of women were, I think, online. Yeah, I mean,
when you were 19, if someone told you not to date a dude because he was too old, would you have listened to that?
No, I was 19.
Yeah.
So I was an adult, at night, when I think about that, I'm like, at 19, I was not, I was out of the house. I
was out of the house at 16.
Yeah, I was not, I just didn't, I was working. I wasn't considered, I didn't consider myself a child, like that. But at the same time, I get the people who I've seen online say, that the text message, that really brought up memories, really bad memories. And I'm sorry for those people. But at the same time, you have to understand, not everyone has had that victimized experience.
Yeah.
Some of us are looking at it like just TV.
And also, sometimes those things work out in a weird way. I've seen people where they got together and the age difference was so crazy, and they're together 20 years later. You know, when I was 19, I had my own apartment, I had my own car I paid cash for, I had a job for several years, and yeah, I flirted with 40-year-olds because I thought they looked good, and I thought, fuck it, if I can hook up with a 40-year-old, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? When you're 19, you're dumb. I was
just
stupid.
The way you phrase that.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And that's what I don't get is people are like, oh, but he should know better. Yeah, he should. But you know what? Those 40-year-old women flirted back with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they should know better. Yeah, they shouldn't be that way. And as I'm the age I am now, which is what, 33, 34? Mid-30s, somewhere in there. What year is it? 84? I'm 36. I'm 36. I would not date a teenager. Any teenage. If it says teen at the end, not interested because they're annoying. All of them.
Yeah. Well, see,
they have the greatest self-defense from weirdos and creeps is they're annoying as fuck. But if for some reason they get past that annoying factor, then the fact that someone else might have that relationship to me isn't like, go ahead, Kev.
Well, and my big takeaway from this right now is it's so early on the storyline. Like we said, this can go really south really quick, yes. For everyone to immediately jump and, be so pissed off and jump down other people's throats about it, it's like, guys, wait, it's kayfabe.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes. And you know what? Hey, this might be the reaction they want from you guys, and you guys are playing straight into it.
You're being worked, boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you got worked. The other thing is, like I said, it's a fucking TV show. When Game of Thrones came out, no one was like, oh, this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're
a lot of
watching this
Christian
shit,
groups were.
I don't think those count. But if you're watching wrestling and all you can think was this is inappropriate in real life, then that means you thought it was real, and they won. Like,
Yeah.
they worked.
And
you.
if this is really hard, maybe you should watch The Masked Singer, also on Fox.
On Fox?
No.
Oh wait, yeah. There's quite a dissension of Masked Singer fans amongst the table. We don't need to get into.
Yeah, we're not getting into that.
I started liking it. Don't ruin it.
I know you started liking
Yeah, what
it.
season?
Producer started getting pissed off at it. Kev got pissed off at it for different reasons. There's like this is battle of the. This is like the
Can we
Red
have a
Wedding in
second
Game of
podcast that's just like our second night
Game
is
of
just
Thrones?
Masked Singer?
That'd be so
No.
good.
Well, when
Also-
they said the results, I started losing it at the end of last season, especially when they said the results
Hell
may
yeah.
be not what was voted for or something like that.
Oh
Yeah.
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 And it's
Fuck.
like, well, it's rigged. They want who they want to win, so
Exactly.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
isn't
Okay.
even
Okay. Okay.
This is all Klump's fault.
Okay. I'm calling this one down the middle. No contest. Everyone's disqualified.
I I'm the fucking timekeeper. I'm just watching. Don't
I know.
I'm
Me and
not
Klump.
digging.
Me and Klump are going to have our own two-person podcast produced by myself where we talk about Masked Singer in a whispered voice. Like, don't let producer hear you. But this is the one I want.
And then we'll have a blow up. Also,
Yeah.
I really wanted Kevin or one of us to defend this by saying, well, of all the penthouse letters I read. Like, just started like that.
Yeah. Are we pretending this doesn't happen in real life? So
Yeah,
we can't talk about it?
I actually had
Yeah.
I had like a flashback of when I was younger, and I had a friend who I think she was 19 at the time. She was dating someone who was like 20. I want to say 20-year difference.
Yep.
And yeah, it was definitely odd. But you know, she was an adult, and I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna. What am I gonna tell her? You know, she's legal. It's all consensual, but yeah, that was odd, and you know, court like that one didn't last, but you know, like that was just. I didn't have, from what I remember, like I don't have any negative memories from that other than, that's odd.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then I just move on.
Yeah, it didn't boil over into some horrible, tragic thing. I think that stuff happens too. I just think that this is a soap opera storyline, and I don't think it needs to be taken that seriously, and it's not actually happening, and it's not encouraging any behaviors. The WWE doesn't encourage ripping somebody's eyes out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a TV show. And if we want to all pretend we're the smartest fans in the world and you can't work me and I know everything, and then they pull this angle and you go, oh, this is real and it's bad. Okay.
If anything, they're telling us
get
don't
both.
try this at home. If you're 32, don't try 19-year-old.
Exactly.
And if you're 19, don't try Buddy Murphy.
I was
Yeah.
literally gonna say that.
I was just, I
They
felt,
said don't try at home.
That's how they start the show. Don't try this at home.
They should
thought-
show a picture of Buddy Murphy and that, like,
Yeah. Go ahead,
If they
producer.
said it with Lana, I would praise them.
That's true.
By the way, also, Lana, I want to throw it on her because I don't like Lana. She got fucked up on Monday night.
Actually, regardless of that, let's talk about this real quick because I think we've said all we're going to say about the other thing. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke as a tag team, I'm
it.
completely behind.
Yeah, especially if they fuck up Lana like that.
Oh, do whatever you got to do. But that is a powerhouse.
and you know
Oh,
me,
yeah,
I
and
love
they
when
and they
women
both
look.
posed at the same time. You're like,
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Mandy's new entrance with the posing. I'm going to throw it to producer real quick, and then we'll get back to you, Kev. What was that, producer?
Does anyone else want to? Okay. I really love when women looks like they are strong. They look strong. It's not about, you know, just them looking sexy because, of course, a lot like the women are all beautiful. But I love really strong women like Natty, and we always knew that that these women were strong, and to actually have them paired up, I was just so excited. And I think even before that, I kind of threw to Marsh, but I mean, before we saw them come out, I was like, man, I wish Bianca was with another strong woman because, they could just be these powerhouses. And we got Mandy and Dana. I mean, we've seen them in the ring. You could see their muscles, and I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see them just like, I don't know, just hopefully get the titles. I would love that. To show the women as like these strong figures. I really hope that's what they do. And I hope they have really interesting storylines. I don't want it just to be, like how they've been building Mandy this whole time of, the sexy blonde. I would like them to have a storyline that has a lot more depth to it.
Yeah. Kev, what were you going to say about it?
I just, they go out there, when they, at first they said, Mandy and then her teammate Dana Brooke, and I was like, oh, cool, this will be interesting. And then as soon as they posed, I was like, holy shit, like this is awesome. Like they have the same look. It reminded me of Power and Glory back in the day.
Dude, I was going to say that.
Really?
Yeah. When they came out, I was like, fuck, it's Power and Glory of the women. Like, this is so sick.
Yeah.
Give me 30 seconds, guys.
Okay.
You got the Hercules and what was the other guy's? Paul Roma? Was it?
Yeah. Yeah. The Olympic weightlifter.
Yeah. And they're just like both sitting there. That's what it reminded me of. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. This is great. They, like I said, they kind of look like each other when they're both flexing at the same time. And I loved it. I've always wanted to see Dana get a push, but I never thought she would be at the level of, the women's title, like Raw or SmackDown. Maybe she would get there one day, but, to put her with the tag team and then Mandy, who's, there's been hype behind and talent, putting them together. I'm like, holy shit, this is great. This is two singles that they've put together as a tag team that actually is amazing.
With like immediate credibility. As soon as they came out, and like you said, they do that pose and they flex and they go, okay, next tag team champs, right? Everyone wants this. Next tag team champs. Let's do this.
And we know that even Dana Brooke can cut an amazing promo, because I keep going back to that promo she gave Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
And how everyone just wasn't expecting it and just felt it and said, damn, that is how you do a promo, Ronda. Like, I remember everyone just thinking, why are we not doing anything with Dana Brooke?
Yeah.
And I'm so glad it's hopefully going in the way that we want.
Yeah, 100%. I'm super excited. And Mandy Rose is my new BFF. I did a cricket meet and greet, and I got to talk to her for a solid minute. I'm pretty sure we're best friends. I haven't talked to her since, so I don't know. Whatever, but
yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we're best friends. We're just, we hit it off. We hit it off like best friends would. You know what I mean? So,
how'd you get a cricket meet and greet?
She didn't actually say much back because you were talking for the full minute.
You got to see the clip?
You told me.
I'll send you the clip. Yeah, I talked for a lot of it because I was trying to get a lot in. And then, and she responded and laughed and stuff, and yeah, it was fine. But we're pretty much BFFs.
Yeah.
So you interrogated her.
Yeah.
The only one thing I will say that I might take as a negative as this is I think they debuted them too soon. I would have rather them debut, and it's probably the timing and the reason why the women tag match didn't happen, but after Ruby and Liv got their shot.
I think you go ahead and start building them as a tag team now. I feel like you haven't seen this kind of power on one tag team with the women. Honestly, as much as I think Shayna and Nia are badasses, I don't think you've seen this kind of power on a team since Beth and Natty.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with introducing them now and starting to build them as a credible threat.
And we know the
what
draft
I mean is, I
coming,
didn't like that Mandy immediately said, "Hey, I know Liv and Ruby are next, but after that, we want a shot." And it's like,
yeah,
hold on, Let the fans think that, but don't say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have not said that, but I think also they want it to not look like it was a fluke of two people just thrown together for a night, because we've seen a lot of that. Where it's like, yeah, we're just going to tag tonight. I think that was their way of saying we are a tag team with a vision.
Yeah.
You know, we are moving forward with this.
Yeah.
This is where we want to be, and we're going to get to the other side. You know what I mean? So I think in that regard, I think it was done well. I do get what you're saying. I don't know that I 100% agree with it, but I absolutely
have to
understand
step away
it.
real quick.
Okay, Klump, you're back.
Yeah.
What did you think of Mandy and Dana?
I thought they were great. I agree with y'all. They, as a pairing, I think it's cool because you have two strong, like they're both bodybuilders, and having them paired together and be done in. And I also agree with producer's point. Have it presented as strong powerhouses versus being in many ways where I really hated Mandy's last character until the Sonya Deville feud, because I felt like it was just like, I'm really tired of Corey Graves verbally fucking her every time she's out. I'm so done with this shit. She's a great talent, and seeing this as the like new direction, fuck yeah. And
I
then
didn't
also
even like that they pulled away. She had that power move where she would like do the double arms and lift them up, and then like do a sit out flapjack kind of deal. I loved that move, and they got rid of it during that last run and just did the running knee, and I didn't like that as much. I was like, I think that the other thing displayed her power more. But go on.
Also, I mean, even looking back, I wasn't a fan of the Otis storyline. Like, yeah, it was funny and kind of like cheeky, but as they went on with it, it felt so much like old hat. It felt like, yeah, we're really going back to. Can we have a female, like, can we have a storyline with a female that isn't love based? Because this is funny, don't get me wrong, but we've also seen this before in a lot of ways, and it's kind of. So she doesn't need to be the background to this, and I'm not saying she was, but like in a lot of ways, there was points where it's like, this is just a Dolph. This is a Dolph storyline. This is a Miz storyline. And why is she playing like third ring to it, you know? So I'm pumped with this. I liked it, and they looked great in the match. I think that they looked super strong. I wish they'd been against a better pair that could have really showcased them. Like, I think them versus an established women's tag team would have looked amazing, but we really don't have any right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, they're able to show up and show out on that one, and they'll get there. Producer, you have something you want to say?
That was actually a point that I did see floating around, that people were saying, you know, oh, can the women be in other stories besides love stories? And I mean, we have seen, you know, clearly the Sasha Bailey feud. You know, we've seen women with these other stories. They just really need to get that through to these other women, not just the main event women.
Yeah, I also think that realistically, I liked the Otis Mandy stuff. However, I was excited to see what Mandy would do after it, because I didn't think it showcased Mandy as good as she could have been showcased.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was really entertaining. Every time I even thought I wasn't going to like it and didn't want to like it, it still was funny, and they both did a good job, and they looked like they were having fun. And sometimes in this business, it seems like patience is the true virtue of a champion. You've got to wait your time, and you'll get there, because your talent is there, and your work is there, and your ethic is there. I feel like that a lot of people rush to champion immediately and champion forever. And I feel like that top spot ebbs and flows. Even when you have the same few up top always, people come and go from within there, and I think that's okay. I feel like the Mandy and Aaliyah story, and Mandy not even anymore, but I feel like those were the only two romantic storylines of like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't a lot of romantic storylines, but I think people see it, they think it's cliche, so it's really easy to just immediately dismiss it as another one of these. Well, Liv and Lana was a weird thing they threw away immediately. Lana Bobby. But even that, like I said, that's kind of Lana's thing. For the most part, I don't feel like we see much romantic storylines with the women. I think it's just easy to think of it as cliche, throw it away, which I also think is fine. To say this is a cliche, I'm not interested. But I also think it's a little unfair to say all the women are only in romantic storylines. I think it's unfair.
I'm not saying that as much as I think it maybe goes back to when
people online were saying
when
that.
I was really watching wrestling, that seemed like there was a lot more because there was so little representation of women on TV outside of being sexualized or these relationship storylines. You know, when I was watching it during like the Ruthless Aggression era, if at times it felt like if women are talking, with the exception of Trish Stratus and Lita, there's a male behind them. You know what I mean?
Even with Lita. I mean, Edge and Matt Hardy can't be told without Lita.
And I think maybe that hangs, and it's unfair of me to do that. It's unfair of me to characterize that as that. But I do feel like it's something that I want to see less and less of, because it all feels hacky. And then I will say, beyond the ones you mentioned, going back further, we've had Miz and Marseille and John Cena and Nikki Bella. We've had Candice and Johnny, and
those are actually married couples, though. That's a little different.
Fucking, what's his name? The giant guy that makes amazing gifts in Mia Yim.
Keith Lee?
Please save me, guys.
You're talking about Keith Lee?
Are you talking Keith Lee?
Oh. Can he not
so
hear
we
us?
see him. It's not all the time, but I feel like maybe it's because of, I think back to those and I didn't like them. They were, when I was a kid watching it, it was the most boring part of wrestling to me. There's the soap opera stuff, and also the most uncomfortable at times. You know?
Yeah. Kev, go ahead and tell Klump that we totally agree. Maybe it's a good time for us to do last call. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Klump, we agree. I don't know if you can hear Marsh.
Nope.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and let you go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and just say, check us out on wrestling. Don't tell him not to leave.
Don't leave, Klump.
No, I'm not.
Let's go. Okay.
Okay.
There's actually just one more quick thing that I wanted to bring up. Am I the only one that is hating these Bianca Belair promos? Because it feels like this is exactly Street Profits and Viking Raiders. I can do something better than you all over again, which her husband was involved.
I didn't feel that.
No, I got more of a Mr. Perfect
vibe.
vibe.
Unfortunately, they should have been done with the Street Profits and Viking Raiders. Bianca Belair is a fantastic athlete, so it doesn't make sense to do this to her.
Okay. I think it was a Mr. Perfect vibe. Kev?
What was that, Marsh?
I got more of a Mr. Perfect vibe from it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can see Mr. Perfect vibe from it, but like you said, to me it just feels too soon after, the Street Profits and Viking Raiders did it.
I think the only thing we get outside of that works is that it's not with anybody else that we're gonna see. It's with faceless people.
Yeah. I
think if it was with like a Mandy Rose or something, I'd be like, oh shit, here we go. But because it's just her showing off, to me it's more Mr. Perfect and less Viking Raiders and Street Profits. That's how I feel it.
Ditto.
Yeah, I mean I definitely see the Mr. Perfect vibe from it, but I don't know, like I said, I just not 100% behind it, and
I get that.
But is there anything else either of you wanted to do?
I'm going to go ahead and just tell everybody, check us out on WrestlingOnTheRocks.com. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and follow and rate and review. Check us out on twitch.tv/WrestlingOnTheRocks. Anybody who has Amazon Prime, you can find out there how you can link it to Twitch and subscribe for free. When we do hit 50 subscribers, we are going to give away this signed AJ comic book. If you're listening on podcast, check us out on WOTR The Show on Twitter, so you can check out the picture. I'm at Ref Marsh. Kevlar, throw it to Klump and then take over and give us last call.
All right, Klump. Throw it. Sorry.
Tell him who you are.
Yeah,
last call.
Klump, tell us who you are real quick, where we can find you.
My name's Crybaby Klump. I'm on Twitter. I'm also apparently deaf.
Yeah, he's deaf. I'm Kevlar Kevlar on the Rocks with an X. Can't spit it out. But hopefully, we'll see Klump and Marsh on Thursday for the Wednesday Chaser. And I think that's it for this week. Last call.
Bye, Lunar.
Yeah, bye, Lunar. Thanks for coming through. Cheers.